A court of fairies and fiction. Akafath Girls Podcast. Hosts Mel and Liv. Season 2, Episode 2, Deceits and Downfalls.
Happy HOFAS release day. I know you people will be seeing this 2 weeks from now, but I hope you enjoyed the book. We can finally rant to everyone soon.
Lots of ranting to do.
Lots of ranting. So I want to say, which I have been telling Olivia literally all week, nonstop, and doing reels about it if you've seen my Instagram. Nesta is going to be High Lady of Dusk.
Well, I'm torn.
She's gonna be.
I'm torn. Definitely, Melanie and I were just talking about this. I actually think she's getting the next book, the next ACOTAR book. I know but I think it has to do with the High Lady of the Dusk Court, which I'm not sold on, but I do think it's going to happen.
See, I don't see why she would make that the next ACOTAR book. I don't see why she wouldn't make it a tandem with Crescent City 3. Technically, you're right. It could be an ACOTAR book, but a tandem read.
Right. That's what I want.
And not like the next ACOTAR book, like of a couple.
Yes, no. Like, I agree with you. I think that we need to have a tandem read, and I'm really hoping that that's what we're going to get, because like there were a lot of questions, like the Cassie and Nesta thing, which we're going to have to talk about because it's so there's so much to say.
I think you went off last week, but I want it again. But
I
like
last week. I know. I was really upset. I'm still upset.
So
okay, let's talk about what you were going to say. High Lady of the Dusk Court. Yes. Why do you think that?
Because of how it ended with Nesta. Again, that line, like, the mother gave you the 8-pointed star for a reason. Go find out why. And then she gave the Star Sword to Nesta and Truth Teller. I don't know whether... I would assume she gave it back to Azriel. I would assume she would leave, let Az have it. But we also still have that last line from Akasith. The one that I always bring up that I think that I said was about Lucian, but it could be about Lucian too, but it could also be about Nesta. The whole High King thing, when Amryn said, the sword will choose another, because Rhys is like, no. So either... Nesta's obviously going to be the Dusk person if the Dusk Court comes back, obviously. So I would love for Nesta to be High Lady of Dusk and for Lucian to be High King if there's still a High King plot.
Yeah.
Just because he's connected to everybody. I would not want it to be Rhys.
No.
After the way he acted, he can't even fucking rule one court, never mind 7.
I was really disappointed, in his behavior, because it was so funny. At the end of Silver Flames, there was so much growth from all of the characters. I think that I read it and I was like, wow, Rhys grew until the bonus chapter with Az, and I was like, oh, this is bad. And then Nesta grew, and their relationship grew, and Cassian grew, and everything was progressing. It was all progressing.
No, the vibe was off. The vibe was off. I knew it. I called it. I'm validated.
Why? But why is she writing it like that? I just want to know.
So Sam on TikTok, Sam.
I don't know Sam, but I will.
Creative CLD, I think it is.
No, I don't know her.
Anyway, she does a ton of theories, and she talks about a ton of stuff in depth or whatever. And she's also been saying, there is a very glaring decline in Rhys's mental state, in Rhys's character. And she said specifically, and I don't think she hates any of the characters, I think she just likes everyone equally. And she says, I do think he is going to reach some sort of bad breaking point with his mental health. And so she like said that in one of her videos. Like, she's like, I think he's going to get a lot worse, actually, instead of better. And so I saw that like months ago and I was like, yeah, someone who thinks like I do, whatever. And then Azriel bonus chapter, and then this bonus chapter, and then the way he treated Bryce. And I was like, so on point. Like, how come there's only a few of us who noticed this? How?
I definitely noticed it, but like I'm surprised that she says this. So did she feel like there was a decline because of the death bond with Feyre, or because now he has this family and he's like Tamlin now? He's kind of like the new Tamlin, where he's like,
yeah.
he's protecting Feyre and he's so scared, or what
Yeah,
was the
she's
reason?
like, well, she said like it was kind of like it's written to be kind of subtle. But then
Yeah, I see it.
but then you have where things like that could kind of be explained away and kind of
Yeah.
be justified, like the pregnancy bubble and not telling her about the pregnancy, which I thought was automatically disgusting. But, some people are like, well, he didn't want to worry her. And then
He should have told her.
And then, like, threatening Azriel's life because he wanted to kiss Elaine. Y'all know I fucking hate the Elriel ship. You know that. But it's not his fucking business. Like, get out of your brother's pants. Come on.
Yeah.
Stop. It's not like, really? Come on. But, I mean, like, I understood where he was coming from, as I said, with the alliances and everything. But, like...
Yeah, I understand it.
But the anger... And I'm telling you, everyone who said that fucking Tamlin had anger issues, it's not Tamlin's downfall, it's Rhys's downfall. Rhys's downfall is anger. Tamlin's downfall is grief.
Yeah. I love that.
There's a very thin line between
fear and grief. Fear. Yeah.
Or like grief and anger. Because one of the 5 stages of grief is anger. I think that was one of Tamlin's stages. I don't think that's his whole downfall. Whereas with Rhys, it just kind of went from annoyance to like explosive in a matter of seconds.
I actually agree with this, and I have noticed he even just reads differently from Akatar.
I still think that he is going to, I don't know, he's just headed for some royal fuck up that just he can't come back from, and I kind of want it. Not that like he's gonna be the big bad and work with Koshi and all this stuff. Like, I would love that, obviously, but I don't think it's going to be that black and white. I think,
like, give me an example of what you think could happen. Like, what's kind of like running through
kind
your
of like
head
the pregnancy thing. Like, he thought it was to keep Feyre from worrying, right? But the one thing she asked of him is, don't lie to me. Lie to her. She wasn't pissed at Nesta. She was pissed at Rhys. And I'm still mad we didn't get the scene of their fight. I feel like they might be fighting a lot recently.
I was just going to say that, because if you notice, Feyre and Rhys are fighting a ton, and I think things maybe aren't all like paradise like it was. I think that they're starting to have a little bit of breakdown.
But it's funny because, and adding a new baby to the mix, as Sarah J. Maas would probably know, can create more tension. And if you already have an overprotective person who is already filled with anger and already kind of uncontrollable, because again, his whole purpose in Akamath was to make her seem like his whore. So Kier points it out, mutilates the guy's arm, like with a thought. Akasif, Nesta tells Feyre about her own autonomy. Get her out of this court before I fucking kill her. Fucking kill her. That was not my biggest, because the pregnancy was the biggest, but in tandem, that was my biggest red flag for Rhys and Cassian. That one scene in that whole book. Rhys for even threatening her sister, when she's pregnant, if he didn't want her to worry about the baby. You're going to threaten to kill her sister. That makes sense. And Cassian, for not telling Nesta, I've gone off about this before, but they were asking him to tell her that she wasn't mad at him not purposely not telling her that, and dragging her on the hike. Again, choosing Rhys over Nesta's well-being because he knew she was depressed. He knew she was malnourished. He did it to hurt her. He did it to punish her. And he told Feyre, I'm doing it as a punishment. And she said, well, Rhys said you don't have to, but he's secretly pleased. That's why he did it. To get Rhys's approval. Like the little fucking lapdog he is. Keep bootlicking Cassian.
I don't know if I agree with all of that. When I initially read the hike, I think it was more like...
No. Don't even. Don't do it. I know you have your Cassian shirt on and you're in a vibe, but don't do it. She was sick at that time. It's not like she was like... She was sick.
I think he was trying to get alone time with his mate, and he knew she was hurting, and he was also really pissed at her.
He ignored her the whole time. He ignored her the whole time. He was pissed at her. Again, more pissed than Rhys at me. He gets more pissed at her for making Rhys mad than he does at Rhys's actual actions. And it's ridiculous. I told you, I fucking told you that was the start of the pattern. Nobody believed me.
It's bad. Had you said this to me, I mean, we talked about this 4 months ago, I would have been like, Melanie, you're so overreactive. You just come up with all this BS. I can't take this.
I know the vibe when I see the vibe.
I feel like I'm in a bad dream because I cannot believe. I feel like I'm like Flynn right now. Like, I cannot believe this is happening again. This is Silver Flames fucking 2.0. We just had this issue.
Oh, now you don't like how he was in Silver Flame. Now that I pointed all out to you.
But it was worse. This was worse. The bonus chapter. By the way, if anyone's listening to this,
again, a decline.
A total decline. If you did not buy the Ember and Randall bonus chapter,
Amber and Randall.
Yeah.
Chapter.
Okay. I knew it.
I hate how she titled it that. I told you the minute she said there was an Ember and Randall chapter, I was like, there's something with this fucking chapter. We need it.
It was the first one I bought because I was like, no one wants to read about Ember and Randall. What are you hiding in there?
What are you hiding?
Yeah,
I knew it.
So, and it was the best chapter. It was the best chapter. But like, why is she setting Rhys up for this? And I see the decline.
And Cassian, Rhys and Cassian are like horrible mates. And I'm so glad. I'm so glad that I'm the person that knew from day one. No. I can say that I knew he was shit from day one.
But this is more of like, I feel like he's like rapidly changing. This is the change from Akamath. Yes, it is. From Akatar and Akamath Feysand. And even Akawar, Melanie. Even Akawar. This is different. We started to see this. He was a dick. Listen, he was a dick. He put the head on the fountain and he made Tamlin bow. But this is next level.
Well, he sexually assaulted her.
He did
for funsies. He did.
He didn't yell. He didn't scream.
He didn't really yell and scream under the mountain. Yeah.
There we go.
There we go. The inner rage that just hadn't been able to come out. Because what did we say? I forget which episode it was. What did we say? We were talking about Akamath. It was one of our really early episodes. And remember we pointed out how like he was supposed to help Feyre, heal or whatever from her trauma. And I said that it was fucking weird that the minute Feyre goes to the night court, all of her trauma's gone. Trauma's gone. Basically, she was fine after, what, a week?
Yeah.
But then we also said that it was weird that, like, Rhys cried that one night. Okay. But he claims he has all this trauma, and we never see it.
Are we reading
Never
too much
shows
into
it.
this? Are we
No.
reading too much into this now? I think we might be, because
No, that was one of Sam's points too. She said, like, we've never seen Rhys express his trauma. And I get that. If most
I
people
thought
do.
that he did. I thought him and Feyre, I thought it was like kind of hinted at that, like they kind of like worked through it together. That was like my
Well,
understanding
they worked
of it.
through hers together.
Yeah, they worked through
together. And then he had that one crying fit, like that second night that she was there or whatever. After he was like, we don't talk about what I did under the mountain. Or he didn't say we don't talk about what I did under the mountain. She said, what did she say? She said, oh, and what about what you did to me under the mountain?
Yeah, I remember
And
that.
he says, and he gets all mad and the room gets all stormy, just like the bonus chapter. And it gets cold and it's building and it's building. And then Moore walks in, cuts it off, controls it at some point. And then he's like, we'll talk about this later. Did they ever talk about it later? No, they did not. But he had that nightmare that night. And I think, I also think it kind of has to do with, it's not like they're humans, but like lack of sleep, because remember he was complaining about how like she would keep him up with Tamlin and like all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then like now they have a new baby. And so like everything that's been brewing that he never expressed.
Well, yeah. Let's be real too. I think the Feysand sister thing is gonna be. I think he can't, obviously and understandably, like he can't shake it. So what I could see happening, because I think we see in like, what is that, the Christmas special one, Frost and Starlight. I think that's when we started to see a really pivotal turn in him, and it seems like the sister thing is like this chain he just can't. He can't forgive, and he can't get over it because he needs to talk about it with Tamlin.
This is why I just told you I will not RIP the Lauren theory yet.
Is this what you were leading to a couple minutes ago, or no?
That's why I wanted to, yes. Rhys's mental decline has to lead to something. Even if he's not the big bad, something has to happen, because he's just randomly having these outbursts of anger that people were condemning Tamlin for.
But everyone's saying he's justified. He's justified in what he does. It still doesn't make it right.
No.
I do see his behavior getting more erratic.
So, for example, can I just say something? For example, so the bonus chapter, right? So Ember and Randall are there. Obviously, Rhys doesn't really know them, but he knows they're human. He could sense that they're human. Let's be real, right? He knows that they're human. Explodes the room on them, basically. We're going to assume that Azriel shielded them because they weren't hurt and he was in the room watching them.
Okay.
Again, we shouldn't have to make assumptions, but here we are. Explodes, goes off on Nesta the whole time. After he's like angrily talking to Ember and Randall, threatens to kill. You should have just put ataraxia through her heart the minute she opened the portal. What the fuck?
Well, and he said like swinging it to her throat or something like that, right?
In front of her parents?
But also, he's never said stuff like that. Like, you should have tried to kill her. He's never said stuff like that ever.
Well, he's threatened to kill Nesta. You should, before I fucking kill her.
That was the first, yeah. Well, and he threatened to kill Tamlin, so okay.
And he threatened to kill Kier.
And he threatened...
Done that before.
No, what's weird? It actually goes all the way back to Akamath.
Literally. That's why it's like it keeps getting worse. But so my point is,
it's
this
more
was
obvious.
like in front of her parents, and he's screaming and he's going off on Nesta. The next morning, takes her away from Feyre because Feyre told him to cut the shit. Takes her away from Feyre to continue to berate her.
Yeah,
Makes
that was
makes Cassian follow him so he can continue to berate her. Fucking douchebag. Does it, stands there saying not a fucking word for his mate. He's a whole other. Reese is berating her again. Fucking Quinlan, who's been there for one night and knew Nesta for maybe 3 hours, flings open the door and is like, lay the fuck off her. What is your problem? She's like, what the fuck? Like, she wanted to give us hope and all this, whatever. So he's going off like that, like in front of company.
Yeah.
Cassian says nothing.
No.
Azriel lets Ember go out there because I think, like you said, I think Azriel's getting sick of his shit.
I think Az is getting sick of his shit. He's starting to act like it.
So I would fucking love if Nesta became High Lady of Dusk and asked Azriel to work for her.
Well, but see, that's what's weird. That's what's weird because like Nesta and Az, they were like really intimate this book.
No, I think it's more of a brother-sister thing. But
you think so?
Yeah. Yeah, like I talked to other people, they're like, yeah, it was like very like brother-sister bonding type stuff. Like they didn't see it as creepy
Bryce
either.
had to turn away, you guys.
Okay, Bryce didn't know them. She didn't know what they were.
Who turns away from a brother and sister hugging? Nobody, because it's normal.
But she didn't know that they were, she didn't know what they were to each other. Anyways, that wasn't my point. Reese going off in front of company and everything. And then you have, if you go back to Akawar, the High Lords meeting. Here we go. High Lords meeting.
That's a good point. Go on. I want to hear this.
Actually, there was another point here actually that I just realized too, but in contrast to how Tarquin reacted when who the fuck was it? Who the fuck said, was it Tamlin? No, I don't know if it was Tamlin. Tamlin or Baron. Maybe it was Baron. Somebody said, they were mentioning how it was Tamlin, I think, where he's like, funny how like only the Night Court showed up to help Adriata or whatever because like they didn't tell anyone.
Yes.
Right.
I remember
and so then Varian was like, it's because I told them. And like he didn't tell Tarquin that he told them. And Tarquin was pissed. He was like, what? Like, because Tarquin had given them blood rubies, remember?
I remember.
Pissed. But he didn't act out. He kept his cool because he was fucking in front of people. You can go home and, talk to your cousin about this is why this was unacceptable and here's your punishment. But like, is he gonna fucking berate him in front of all the other High Lords? No. And obviously, like, it was because he loved Amryn, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But Tarquin was pissed. Did he lash out? No. What does Reese do? Oh, there's a ceasefire. Be on your best behavior. Only him first takes away Tamlin's voice. And I don't like that scene, but I love that scene because that's what he does. He takes away people's voices. That's his thing. Whether it's by magic, whether it's by berating them, whether it's by explosive anger, that's what he does. Whether it's by not telling them something, took away Feyre's right to voice what she wanted to do with her pregnancy, took away Nesta's voice by screaming at her and like making her feel like she couldn't even do anything, took away Tamlin's voice with his magic, took away Kyr's voice, which Kyr's a piece of shit, but he's still the leader of Hewn City. When he had any type of thing to say. Even during the meeting in Hewn City, when he's like, oh, we have to sit down and talk to Kier. Like, he wasn't really sitting down and talking to Kier. He was threatening him the whole time. And again, Kier is a piece of shit. But if you're a leader and you have other leaders under you, you need to give them a minute to talk.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. He does. I agree with that.
Especially if you're not gonna actually fucking govern them the way that you're supposed to be. He doesn't care about them, so. Because don't you remember when I brought up the whole Prince of Hell parallel, how I said, like, Kier said, like, you're supposed to be up on your throne above us, and you're never there. I wondered where you went.
Yeah, I remember.
Time. Which is
so
like,
here's my question to you too. But because I feel like during the High Lords meeting, though, he was significantly calmer than what we have seen in the past 2 books.
That's why I'm saying it's a decline.
It's
going from bad to worse.
Yeah.
It's getting to Under the Mountain level again.
It's getting to worse than Under the Mountain level. He was not this bad Under the Mountain. I'm sorry, he was not.
Twisted Feyre's infected arm to get her to force her into a bargain where he possessed her just to make Tamlin mad. Blinding pain, she says. Blinding pain. She was sobbing. Well, he did that on purpose because then he healed her arm after.
Right. He did. But he never berated. He never screamed. He never lost control. That was
more calculated anger, but still. It was
very
disgusting.
calculated. He was very controlled in the first couple books. I agree with this decline. But I'm like, to what end? Like, what is the purpose of this? Where are we going with this? And I'm not quite sure I understand it, because is he destroying his mate, his relationship with Feyre? Because that's what it sounds like too. Like, what's gonna happen there? Remember, we all felt the whole Feysand. What's going on? Because at what point is Feyre going to be like, how many times do we have to fight about my sister Nesta? I thought we were past this. She saved me. She saved your son Nyx. I mean, Feyre sounds like she's starting to get a little pissed off too.
I love that so much. Fucking Karma's a bitch.
But anyway, I hope, but I wonder, will she take this as an opportunity for Feyre to self-reflect? Are we going to see that?
That's what I want. Because, hey, maybe all of the High Lords are a little intense. Maybe I only saw one of them. Maybe when Lucian told me they're literally a different breed, he wasn't kidding.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I think we've talked about this like multiple times before, but like the High Lords are all very intense. They are very, very powerful.
They are literally a different breed. They are just a body of raw magic.
Yes. Yep. And they have a hard time controlling their emotions, and they just feel things more intensely than everybody else. And if you look, I have always said this too, Melanie. Yes. Tamlin and Feysand, I feel like,
two sides of the same coin. I know.
But Tamlin is the one with more pure morals and a better moral compass, I think.
Can I?
What?
So I know that did I say on air the Aelin quote about raw magic? I don't think I said it.
I don't think you said it to me, but you did not say it on air.
Okay, I'm going to try to find it real quick, because there's another one in Crescent City 2 that somebody found, and I took it and I put it on my Instagram, and I goes, it's not just Tamlin, I fucking told everybody this, and nobody wants to believe me.
Yeah, what is it?
I can't find it, but basically Aelin says that, like, her raw magic, like, if she went back to Terrasen and got her magic back, it would be like it makes her uncontrollable, and she didn't like how it felt to feel so out of control. And that's why Air of Fire was so important, because Rowan had to teach her how to try to control it again. Because she's a queen, so she's basically a high lady, right?
Yeah.
So then there's this in Crescent City 2, that someone pointed out. It might have been on the Discord or Facebook thing, but I took it and I put on my thing. And it says, even the most aloof of the Fae couldn't halt an eruption of primal wrath when it overtook them. They can't stop it. They can't stop it from happening. It just happens.
Yeah.
I put funny, funny, real funny. Stop coming for Tamlin because it's not just Tamlin.
No. Nope.
Nope.
All the High Lords, friends.
All the High Lords.
All of them.
But also, can we liberate Lady Autumn already? Because I feel like even Helion is intense, but like not anger intense.
No, he's not.
I feel like he wouldn't really, but like he hasn't really had reason to be that angry anyway. I mean, you don't like Helion, so you're gonna be like, he should have been mad that his mate is with this fucking abuser.
That's exactly. Yep, there you go. You know what I'm gonna say. You know me so well. She chose, you guys. She chose her. She chose. She wants to be with Baron. She chose. Let her get beat up on, please. Thank you, Helion.
He can't cause a civil war.
But yeah, let me let the love of my life just take 2 fists to the face. Real manly.
Oh, can I just point out that Rhys says, if she had chosen to marry Tamlin, I would have let her, which is bullshit, by the way. He would not have let her.
I actually support Rhys going and getting his mate. It's just going. She has to like I would support Tamlin going and getting his mate. Like, you gotta fight for her.
Well, maybe Rhys didn't give Helion the idea that he could send somebody else to get her, like he sent more. Because he doesn't fucking talk to any of the High Lords. Because if he did, he would tell them that there was an intergalactic war going on and a fucking threat of a rift opening up in the sky in any one of their provinces.
Well, okay, so here let's talk about that, because I know you and I were like, where was Rhys? I know. We were like, where was Rhys? Where's maybe he was at a High Lords meeting during CC3.
I can't even imagine that going down. How the fuck do you know that there's gonna be a rift opening in the sky?
An intergalactic.
Just trust me. What? What? He's just gonna bring the Veritas orb and explain guns and everything to all of them too.
He might. I don't know.
Dude,
I mean, that's why we need a tandem read.
The best thing, as I told you, but the best thing would be if there was a meeting like that and he brought the Veritas orb and it's just, going and going and going. And like, I don't know, Tamlin accidentally touches it or something. It is the orb of truth. And he like sees his sister going through a rift. Bro.
I'm going to tell you something. You know what? I agree. Originally I was really salty and I was like, RIP to the Lauren theory. RIP. No, maybe.
It's leading
Sarah's
up.
playing the long game.
It's leading up. How many books now has fucking Aleutian been mated? She plays long games. Fucking Akamath.
Yeah. But
long game.
She's playing the long game to the point where the fandom is starting to just like rapidly turn on itself. We're all rabid to each other. We're like, Azriel, Aleutian. Bryce Real. The Bryce Real's coming in. And I'm like,
I'm still gonna die.
Left field. I love it. It's so funny. It's so funny to watch all this. But also it's not, because like we're starting to need some answers.
I'm telling you, again, we should have recorded this, but like she has Therian, she has Ethan, maybe Hypaxia, Sigrid thing. Yeah, but the Sigrid thing, the Sigrid and Hypaxia thing is kind of mixed with Ethan's, right? Story.
Yeah.
So there's gotta be more than Therian and Ethan.
I would freak out if Lauren comes. It has to be because like, but everyone's like the big Koshi war. Honestly,
Yes.
Koshi bores me so much. I hate that's like the one storyline. I'm like, oh my god, he's such a boring villain. He's seriously like why are
We've seen him in one scene.
That's my point. Everyone's like, it's such a big deal. All of social media. The Koshi
It is a
war.
big deal. He's 15,000 years old, like the Asteri. Is he a fucking Asteri too?
He's
Did he
so
know
boring.
Vesperus?
Oh my god. Bring back Amarantha already. They suck. Koshi, I could not care less.
Sarah
I could
said that
not
the
care.
person she misses writing the most is Amarantha. Do you know
Bring
that?
her back. Bring her back.
Oh,
Bring
you
her
brought her
back.
fucking worm back.
I know. The worm was so random. You know what though? I'm surprised the Feyre fans aren't like, you're discrediting Feyre's human kills.
I know. Wait, they're going to be so mad. I told you they're gonna be so mad that Nesta defeated one.
But like, I also kind of agree with them because that is kind of shitty. That was like Feyre's like thing. Like she killed a worm in human form.
Nesta's not human though, and she had to use the mask.
It's weird.
She had to use the mask though, so like
I guess that's true.
Yeah.
But still, it's like why duplicate it? Why couldn't she make it like one of the hellhounds, like trying to with 3 heads trying to rip out their throats? I mean,
no, because Elaine defeated the hellhound.
Stupid.
Remember, she kicked it in the face.
I do remember that.
So I don't
Or give us a new creature. Give us
creatures.
a Chrysalis demon. In Prithian. Give it to us. Let's
fucking
see it.
Bryaxis. Where is he?
Yeah.
Where is he?
Where?
Where he was gonna be up and left after the war. They can't find him. They can't track him. So maybe he left this world. What the fuck, Azriel?
We need answers. I feel like I just read more and more. It's like the never ending story. I hated that movie as a kid, and now I feel like I'm fucking reading a whole series about it.
It's the never ending story.
Like it's like you get answered with a question. You know, questions are. It's just.
You know what someone said on I think the Discord earlier, and I go, that actually makes some sense.
Tell me.
They said, I hate to blame all of this shit on Aelin, but what if the dog gods were the Asteri, and when she locked them in the Hell Realm, they really just escaped to other worlds, because the only way you can get to other worlds is through the rift in hell. They're like, Aelin fucked up. She fucked up.
Did you see it's that Instagram account that you and I both followed, the book Hyperfixation, where it's like where it's the animated too, and it's like Aelin's like, so how did you get here? And Bryce is like, I got here through a weird gate. And Aelin's like, really?
You what? You what?
Yeah,
really?
Her face. Really? I was like, this is gold. Whoever made this is so brilliant.
Really?
Because
Did you? No. I thought I
really?
said
And Feyre's like, she did. Yeah, she did. It was good.
Her being fucking stupid, being like, good job. I mean, bad job. I mean, both of you. And then
She
the
did.
one with Aelin, where she has the automatic. And Rowan's
so
like,
good.
no.
So good.
Oh my god.
I love it. You know what though? I have had that thought before. I was like, dude, what if Aelin? Because
Aelin
we talked about
fucked up because we don't know who the gods actually were, and the Asteri did say like we are gods.
I know. And then what was it? There was that quote, oh, that foolish princess, which I'm not convinced it means Silene, or I still think it could mean Aelin.
I don't think it's Aelin.
I think it's Aelin too, because like I don't think Silene did that. I think it sounds like Aelin. That foolish princess.
Like dumb. Like Selene was dumb, but like and I would have said Thea. Like, it would make sense for them to say Thea, but Thea was a queen.
She was not a princess.
Not a
That's
princess.
she was not. How funny would it be though? Like how
How funny would it be if it was like whoever Nesta stole the power from in the cauldron? Because then like Nesta could be like a foolish princess, maybe. Everyone says like that's what I wanted to bring up. That's what I wanted to bring up. I texted you this, and I know you're gonna get so mad, but I texted you this, and I was gushing about Cormac, as you know. You remember the
Oh
conversation.
God, no!
I'm bringing it up.
No,
Yes. No. The Oracle, he saw an Oracle before the second book. The Oracle did not tell him he was going to die. The Oracle says, and I quote, the Oracle of Avalon said that I was destined to unite with a princess who possessed a star in her heart, that our mingling would bring great prosperity to our people. So, obviously, everyone thought this was Bryce. Obviously, Cormac thought this was Bryce. But Bryce was mated to hunt. And as we know, even humans can have mate bonds to the Fae. And mate bonds are from birth. So, Bryce was always mated to hunt. This is not Bryce. This is Nesta.
No, it's not Nesta.
It's Nesta.
Because Nesta's not a princess. Even if she's high lady, she's not princess.
How do we know?
Different.
Why did Tamlin bring up her mom?
No way. Do
Yeah.
not start.
Yeah.
Don't you dare.
We don't know. Even the people on the Discord said
this again.
Even the people on the Discord said, we don't know how powerful the Archeron sisters are because we don't know about their mom. And their mom is always brought up, like, randomly.
No. I'm
Who
gonna
the fuck was their mom? What if she was one of the mortal queens?
Oh my God, we're gonna go. We can't think
And
like this.
that's
Anything. We should have learned our lesson.
Papa Archeron knew Vasa.
To us, it makes sense. To Sarah J. Maas, that would never happen.
Because, as I told you, think about it. So if Bryce tells Nesta, figure out why she gave you the star. The star is the Dusk Court power. If Nesta is chosen to be the leader of Dusk, she's going to get the star in her heart.
No. And also, I don't understand why Nesta's chosen to be Dusk High Lady.
Because Reese fucking sucks and he already has a court. You can't. No, he's not ruling two courts. That's why. And it has to be a female. And Bryce didn't stay in Prithian. She didn't want to stay in Prithian.
Why does it have to be a female?
So the mother knew has to be Nesta. She's feisty enough. She's like Thea.
She's like Bryce. Bryce and her are best friends. They do get along.
Exactly.
Because
it was always a female that was Dusk. It was Thea's court.
So, okay, let's say she makes each Archeron sister a high lady of three different sorts.
As I fucking said, like a year ago. The fucking dresser drawers, bro. Cormac
is dead.
Wait a minute. Do you know what I just figured out?
What?
Cormac also had firepower.
Okay.
How about that? Her dresser drawer flames were orange. And Cormac was part of the Dusk Court. It's gonna be nothing, Cormac. I swear to God, I told you. It's gonna be Nesta and Cormac.
So, okay, I just want to go on the record saying this right now.
I don't believe her.
No, listen to me first. I personally love the idea of Nesta and Cormac together. I think they would be a fantastic couple. I truly do. I think it's going to happen? No, because I think that's a little too creative. I just don't. I mean, Crescent City 3 should have been a warning to you and me that we just think
Crescent City 3 put together a couple not one single fucking person in the fandom thought of.
that is true. But it's not a
Plot twist.
but not a previously mated couple. We don't see mates breaking up.
Cormac and Sophie.
They weren't mates.
We don't know that. We don't know that. We don't know. He just said
we can't include that.
He just said
we can't include it. Like I said, I love Cormac and Nesta. I think alternate universe, they would be fantastic together. So much better than Cass and Nesta, but I don't see her doing it.
Oh, I do. I think that's the plot twist. I think that's the big thing.
Do you know how many people would be up in arms about that, though?
I don't care. I don't think Sarah J. Maas cares either.
Really?
CC3. You think people aren't going to be mad about it?
You want to know what?
She writes the story she wants to write.
I can't wait to see the internet's reaction to it because it's nothing like we thought.
She's like, that's the High Lady power. She's going to get the star in her heart. And the Oracle would have told Cormac, oh, you're going to die.
No, it wouldn't. The Oracle never told people when they were going to die.
No, if that was his future, they would say like, oh, you'll meet a bad end or some weird
no, they
weird
wouldn't.
thing like that. Which, not to sidestep from this conversation because I really want to talk about it, but I'm a demon and a nightmare and I will meet a bad end.
I've been thinking about that quote over and over and over. I'm a demon and a nightmare. It just plays in my head. I'm like, what is going to happen? I will
meet a bad end.
What if she kills off? I will say I'll be upset if she kills him off.
I won't, because if you have Feyre as High Lady of Night, and then you have Nesta as High Lady of Dusk, and then you have Elaine as High Lady of Day, because we're both convinced she's going to kill Helion. Oh. There's the three sisters. And is it Elaine? I thought someone said, other than me, that Feyre said some days I don't know who's worse, me or Nesta. So they know they're pretty much kind of two sides of the same coin.
Fair.
So I don't think either of them really needs a man. But I
love the men. I love the Sarah J. Maas men.
Someone was actually arguing with me because I said that if Rhys died, Nyx would be the High Lord. Yeah, he's a child. So by proxy, it would be Feyre. They're like, no, it would just be Feyre. It would just be Feyre. And I said, I said it would be Feyre because of Nyx. And they're like, why would it be Feyre? It would just choose more. It would choose the next,
No, it'd be Feyre.
I don't know. They said it would choose, someone else or whatever.
But here's the thing, though.
I said, no, it would be Feyre, but it would be by proxy. Because if Nyx is their heir and she's not, she wasn't chosen by the magic, it would be Nyx. And just like in England, Britain, whatever, if Prince William became king and he died, Prince George would still be the king as a child. They just have a proxy adult.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Whatever. So it would be that. It would be Nyx, but Feyre by proxy.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. The Death Pact is still very much alive and present.
No.
Feyre will die if Feysand dies.
No, she will not. It's gone.
It's not gone.
The mask took care of it. That's why we haven't seen her. Because he's trapping her in the house to keep her safe. I'm convinced it's gone. That's why we haven't seen Feyre.
No way. That's such a huge plot that she has to explain it. There's going to be something big around it.
She did explain it.
Talks about it.
She explained it. The cauldron's the only thing that can take away a bargain. The mask was made by the cauldron. The dread trove was dipped into the cauldron. It was made by the Asteri.
Our readers would have to really, really read into that and it wasn't so obvious. You know what I mean?
I mean, to me, it was obvious.
Yeah,
But anyway,
versus someone else's reading is not normal. So your reading
I loved when I was like reading this, and then I would like text you, and you're like, "Where was that?"
I'm like, what?
But back to Nesta and Cormac. I told you, I will not believe he's dead until I see his spirit. I don't care.
Okay, so just for everyone who's listening, Melanie is saying Cormac is alive, and
we never got any actual indication that he's dead.
He blew up a lab at some point yesterday.
He had shadow fire powers and a word mark tattoo. There's no way Sarah J. Maas wrote this specific scene in Crescent City 2 and then was like, he's actually dead. No way. No way. If she didn't forget about the fucking Midgard worm, she's not going to forget about this. And I have the line right here. The Crown Prince of Avalon had changed into a climate-appropriate gray t-shirt that did little to hide the considerable muscles of his arms. Also, that sounds like a Nesta description right there. A tattoo of strange symbols encircled his left bicep, the black ink gleaming in the bright lights. Where else is strange symbols brought up? In the fucking Bone Quarter with the fucking Underking, who's Valg, with the statue of the mother holding the cauldron with the strange symbols on her arms.
No.
Yes. Why would she write that in? What is the point then?
Because she was Sarah J. Maas and she was sitting there and it's never going to come.
Because it was cool. No.
She had the little crystals at her laptop like we all saw, her desktop, and God knows none of the points got connected, so no way. No, I'm not going to be pulled into this for a whole year and a half while we await ACOTAR 6.
You will. I'm telling you right now. He's not dead. If he was dead, we would have seen him. We would have seen him.
Cormac was like a main character, but now his storyline is done. Why would she pop? What?
That's exactly what people say about Gwen.
No, Gwen's story isn't done. Gwen did not die.
Oh, Tamlin's story is done. Tamlin's done. He's done.
Tamlin and Gwen are still alive. Cormac
is alive.
Very descriptive death scene. Very descriptive.
Tyrion literally looked back and the lab exploded. He literally could have teleported. Using the word marks.
My God. Now I have to wait an entire year for this. That someone said there is going to be a 3 to 4 year wait in between each book for ACOTAR. No.
I don't think so.
I hope not. I hope not.
So. But can't word marks? Isn't the whole thing with word marks like they're used against like Valg magic or whatever, right?
Yeah, we see that in Throne of Glass. Yeah.
So if he was shot by the Gorsian bullet, he could still use his word marks.
But we don't know that that's Valg. Like, it was never clarified.
Well, it was made by the Asteri. The Asteri and the Valg and the Daglin are basically the same species.
Well, based off of, like, what we have decided, it hasn't been stated that they're the same. It could still be two different things, two different species, so.
I'm going to convince you.
There's no way.
I have all the quotes.
It's not going to happen.
I screenshotted all the quotes as proof.
I refuse to be dragged into a really awesome theory again for another year because
you also refused to believe that Cassian was a bad mate, and
I did.
Validated.
And it happened.
It happened.
And I'm still upset about it.
So
literally
don't
just,
discredit me yet. I have all the quotes. Sarah did a TikTok filter of, you have to pick your favorite character. Cassian beat Feysand, apparently.
Did she really?
How very telling.
I swear to God. But it was weird because she wasn't like really like answering. She was like, "Oh, Josh, answer for me. Like, I want to hear Sarah J. Maas who you like."
Oh, Rowan. Rowan won by a mile, obviously. But she did pick Azriel over Rowan once because she's like, well, I feel like we know everything about Rowan and we're going to get into what we know about Azriel, but we don't really know anything about him yet. I'm like, you bitch. And at this point, if anybody is fucking saying Elaine's book is next, as I've said on the last 2 episodes, what the fuck brain cells do you have? It's not Elaine's book next.
It's not Elaine's book. It's literally Azriel's book.
It's
Everything
Azriel's
points
book.
to Azriel's book.
It's
Everything.
Azriel's book, or it's a fucking Nesta novella, and then Azriel's book.
100%. 100%. I don't know who is saying it's Elaine's book next, but they, like you said, they need to like grow up or something.
They need to like grow up. Oh, you gave me a fucking heart attack earlier today, and I'm still mad at you.
But do you want to know what? I'm so sorry. First of all, I'm sorry I gave you a heart attack. It's because I was having one and I was trying, I needed help, and I reached out to you.
I know. And then like
But I
other
still believe
people
what I said.
other people made it worse.
What?
The chat
happened?
group. Other people.
Who? Tell me.
Because they were like sending quotes from the interview or whatever, and she's like, well, it says that like not all mates are gonna, like, maybe she wants to mess with the rejected mates trope, and like if she was going to do that, she's not gonna straight up tell us. She's just not gonna straight up tell us unless there's a fucking plot twist, which is my thought. I'm convinced it's Nessian. And people think I'm fucking crazy. But you can't think I'm crazy after that bonus chapter. You can't think I'm crazy after that bonus chapter.
I thought a lot about what you said and how it could be Nessian, and I was like,
Plot twist, not outwardly giving anything away, right?
Yeah.
Because if she's like, oh, the fated mates trope, and it would be too obvious that it's the person that's not talking to their mate. Like, that would be too obvious.
It's going to be a curveball thing. I totally agree.
Thank you.
She would devastate an entire fandom if she. I love your shirt. I love it. I love it.
Fucking turn Lucian into more of a Therian, and I will hunt you down, SJF.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm very concerned for Lucian, though. I mean, like, it's gonna one of 2 ways. It could be Nessian because she's making Nesta move to the Dusk Court.
I'm convinced.
They're fighting.
They're fighting. They don't have wedding rings on. Their mating ceremony was supposed to be like soon after Akasith. Remember? This is 6 months to a year after Akasith.
So do we know for a fact they didn't have rings on? Because someone else said they did have rings on when they were sitting around the table with Ember and Randall.
No.
Someone said Cassian had a ring on. I have to go find the scene again, or I have to go find the bonus chapter.
I haven't reread the scene yet, but I'm pretty sure she just said, "Oh, they smell like one another," which, okay. Rune and Lydia smelled like one another after fucking too. Like,
well, we already know that in Silver Flame, so
yeah. So it doesn't make a difference.
Oh man, she will gut me if she does that. Like,
because don't you agree? I know that people disagree with me, but do you agree with me that if Nesta becomes High Lady of Dusk, Cassian is going to choose Rhys over Nesta? He's not going to leave the Night Court.
You know what? I think that's the $1 million question. What I'm
think
hoping
Sarah's
happens.
I think she's proving in Akasif, in this bonus chapter, in the way that they're not really talking in the book, that he will always choose Reese.
What I could see happening, I'm getting like this feeling of like a third act breakup trope, kind of like. Like I think that Nessa's gonna be like, you know what? You keep picking Reese. I'm gonna move to Dusk. I'm out. It's fine. And what I'm hoping is gonna happen is they'll like reconcile and get back together. That's my hope.
I don't know. They're always, they have been toxic together since day one to me.
I wouldn't even call it toxic until lately. Lately, something's not right.
Well, it was all like, we all love that speech in Akawar. Let's be honest, we all love it.
Of course.
But as
He's
I will bring
wonderful.
up again, even in Akawar, it's always Nesta defending Cassian, Nesta protecting Cassian, Nesta saving Cassian. It's never the other way around, which is odd for mates. And I can't tell if it's because
a high lady.
But I can't tell if it's because she's more powerful.
Yeah, that's what.
But again, mates are supposed to be equals. They've never been equals, which I've also said.
I was thinking about that.
That painted cauldron, yo.
because you know, like, I see Nesta and Cassian as equals because they're both like very physical. They fight physically. They're the strongest. Like, their offspring would be pretty equal and pretty strong because they would just like breed armies, basically, like breed these crazy strong children, military children. But I see that, I do kind of see them as equals. She's a little bit more powerful than him, maybe.
A little. He has brute strength, but she has fucking Thea magic, cauldron magic, the ability to wield the whole trove. That's what Lanthus was trying to tell her.
What?
Lanthus in the dream when they had the whole trove or whatever.
Yeah, she was Thea.
You didn't did you read you didn't read the English version yet. There's a scene where one of the depictions on the cavern wall is Thea holding all of the trove, including the horn.
Yeah, I read that.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that's Nesta. Bryce hasn't held all of the trove. She only has the horn. I want to point out again, which people could argue with me on this, but when they get to that door portal or whatever it is, from Hewn City to the prison, out to the prison island.
Yeah.
Bryce is like, has her hand on the 8-pointed stars, like pushing on it, like nothing happens. And then Nesta touches it. And they wait a second and they're like, oh, it's not going to open. And then it opens. Thought that was very telling.
I swear to God, though, she breaks up Nessian permanently. Okay. But I was thinking, remember she did that interview and it was like Feyre and Rhysand like talking about the mates, and then it was like Nesta and Cassian are very physical. They like go to an island. Do you remember that?
And then Elaine and Lucian would go to London.
Yes, yep, it was that one. But she said Nesta and Cassian in that, like, they were endgame. So I'm a little confused by that interview. Did she change her mind?
She's been changing her mind a lot. I'm worried, actually.
Yeah.
But I do want to say, for the freakish fangirls that are going to come for that interview and rip it apart to say Elriel, she can still choose Lucian. Even if she rejects the bond, it is a verbal rejection. She could still go back and be like, actually, I want to try this out. The bond never goes away. Ever.
True.
But that's also why I've been saying I don't think Nesta and Cassian have an actual mate bond. I think it's something else.
What could it be though? I'm like trying to figure out, is he just like a
death
knight
bond.
to her? I mean,
honestly, I don't think Cassian's gonna have to make the choice because ultimately I think he's gonna die with Koshi. I still think he's gonna die.
really? You still think that?
That would be the easiest way to get him out of the picture and Nesta in as High Lady of Dusk without any of the complications. So they can be endgame.
Oh, I hate that.
They would still be endgame.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, oh my god. Having a panic attack. They were my favorite couple ever.
I told you Akathip was fucking shady.
She's gonna bait and switch me on Nessian? Are you kidding me?
It's not a bait and switch if he dies.
God. Okay. How many people did Nesta date already? I know she doesn't follow this like rule of 3 anymore, like obviously with Hunted Bryce.
Well, it was like Tomas.
Okay.
It was Tomas in the Mortal Lands, which obviously, again, the themes of rape. Tried to rape her.
Yeah.
And then it was like however many Fae guys she fucked when she was drunk. I don't know.
Oh, that's right. Okay. But like, so yeah, she never had a serious relationship. But like, I don't see her putting Nesta with anyone else.
She has been following the rule of 3.
Elaborate. Do you care to elaborate?
You know what I think. You know what I think already. There's gonna be some queen's consort or some Lord of Dusk.
He is so dead. He is so dead, and he is just an afterthought to SJM. She's forgotten him.
No.
She has forgotten about him.
She didn't forget about Sathya. She's gonna forget about Cormac. There's no way. I'm reading this
forgot
again.
About Lauren.
Not yet. There's still another Crescent City book, and she said she still wants to open the gates again. So that we don't know. We don't know. But I had some quotes. But also, I've been reading the English version, and every time they bring up Cormac is so sus.
Okay, wait. I want to ask you something.
So random. It's like Darian in his depression being like, in that poor male that he saw immolate himself. But like, is everyone fucking forgetting that, like, again, he had the word mark tattoo. And if he could tap into that word mark tattoo, he not only had shadow magic, he also had fire magic. So how is fire going to kill him when he can control fire? Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
I just think it's like an oversight on her part. I just don't believe that there's like some great plan because I mean, like when you look at we had everyone, the whole fandom had these like amazing theories where we're connecting the dots, and she took it and yeeted it out the window. All of them, every single one.
Nobody believes me, so
what are you talking about? Wait. So, I just have to ask you because I'm gonna read it after we get off this. Like the official English, is it better in English?
Oh yeah.
Like, does it
still
is there more
confused
detail?
On fucking Vesperus
and Hesperus?
Yeah, she asks her. She's like, oh, Hesperus. She's like, any relation to Hesperus, the evening star? She's like, I am the evening star. So who the fuck is Hesperus? Did they just grab some rando and it's like pretend to be her?
I don't know. It's weird, right?
So there's like definitely more than like 8 Asteri. There's like a whole species of Asteri. We don't know where the
And
rest of them are. Well, the Under King, I'm assuming, Valg. Valg is a Asteri because Vesperus was killed. It was black blood. They're Valg.
yeah.
And she actually says in the book, she says we're world walkers. That's what Maeve says. Maeve was a Valg.
Wayfarers. She said Wayfarers
and world walk. Yeah.
World
So they're Valg.
I saw that.
Valg are not from hell. They are Asteri. The Valg, the Daglin, and the Asteri are the same species. But there's like the royals, the royal Asteri, and then there's like the lower level Asteri, which I'm assuming were like the Valg princes and Tog and all the other Valgs that got stuck there. Because I found out, before I go back to the Cormac thing, we found out that Prithian was dragged to Midgard before the Tog world.
I have to see.
Like literally like a week or so before the Tog world, because she describes how like Selene was there with her mother and her sister, and they realized that they were tricked because like the world was already populated and the people from all the other worlds were coming through the rifts. And like a little after they got there, like all these other types of fae were coming through. And that's when Thea realized there's two different types of fae. And these kinds of fae had like sharp canines and could shift into animal forms and all this stuff. And I was like, was first. Berthian was first. Well, not first, but like before the Tog world. And Parthos was originally in Midgard. Like Parthos was Midgard. So Midgard was like Earth as it is now, like all humans. Parthos was a huge human library of all of their history and knowledge and art and culture and everything like that. So Parthos was part of the original Midgard. And so when all the Fae came through, they're like, we can't have anyone knowing that this used to just be a human planet. And so they destroyed the library. And like all the humans and everything marched to save the library. And that's where the priestesses came in, because the priestesses tried to guard against the Fae too. And they took some of the books or whatever. Like Jessica was there. Jessica was one of the original Parthos priestesses. She was human. And then
this is all in CC3, right? All in CC3.
Yeah. And so she's basically the only one who got away with like a chunk of the books and everything. And then we know the whole story where Apollyon found her and raped her and gave her some magic accidentally because he's a Thunderbird.
Still doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It still doesn't make sense he would rape a poor human who is escaping. It's weird.
Well, so
right?
They knew that there was a secret other than the books in the library, and they couldn't figure out what it was, and none of the humans would tell them, the Fae or whatever. And so Hel wanted one over on the Asteri, obviously.
Yeah.
So he's like, you're gonna tell me the secret. You're gonna tell me the secret. And she's like, I'm not fucking telling you. So like he assaults her, and she still doesn't tell him. And then she has some of his magic.
She steals it from him.
Fuck you.
It's weird to me that she still wouldn't tell Apollyon though, because like they're kind of like the saviors and the good people, right? Or is
they're morally gray?
They're evil. There's two evils: the Asteri, and then we have the Princes of Hell, and like they're both evil. And it's like, what's the lesser of the evil? I don't know.
Yeah, they're not. They're morally gray. They don't like that the Asteri doesn't keep to themselves. They don't like that they're like harvesting all the worlds and messing with the balance of everything.
Yeah.
Basically, because they're like, we'll keep to our world. We don't give a shit. Like whatever. So they just wanted anything that they could to overthrow the Asteri. Yeah. So if they can exert their power to do that, they were gonna do that. Like the end justified the means kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I hate that I say that like I fucking loved Apollyon, but like I fucking loved Apollyon. I'm sorry, Jessica. Like, yeah, he's a piece of shit, but he changed. I'm not gonna say he changed. No, but like he kind of did though. They still hated each other though.
It's weird to me that like the bonus chapter of Adis and Jespa are like, the male best. And like to me, I'm like, they had this relationship. No, not that like she was raped by Apollyon. So that was kind of like weirdly written to me. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, why would he be like, the male best? Does she?
I don't know. Unless he was just talking about her, his scientist father. But that was never explained.
No, I feel like that was not explained.
Because I feel like it didn't sound like there was any go-between, but she could have been a sort of go-between.
It's weird, right?
Or maybe she aided them with like magic. I don't know.
Also I really wanted to know was like, who are Jessica's lovers that she turned into reptiles and we never find that out. Right? Like that
was probably like such a myth. I don't know.
I know. Everyone's like, oh, she turns all the people that piss her off and all her previous lovers into snakes and reptiles and houses them in her library.
Yeah, I feel like that was just, she was like, yeah, I was a priestess and then I was a witch and now I'm a sorceress. She's like, I've had 15,000 years to like learn how to control my powers and like do all this shit. I was like, that's cool though.
It is cool. Her storyline is really cool to me, so I'm really surprised it was kind of cut short.
Everyone's like, I love how this like little Ethan comes along and she's like, here's all my secrets.
Do you want to know what? Like, she should have made them mates. Like,
getting a vibe. I was like, I think Jessica's into him.
She was and like
she was into him.
I love that Jessica was into him, and they would have been such a cute couple.
It would have been so cute, but like it was also like really tragic because he's like, you don't want to age or whatever, and she's like, not yet, not till I know the books are safe in a world where they won't be destroyed. So like that was kind of foreshadowing of her death after Bryce kills the Asteri, but like I just want to know what her real fucking name was.
I know. It's going to be like Oleana or something like that. I don't know.
I mean, well, no, it can't be because she's not from the Tog world. She's from Midgard.
That's right.
I feel like SJM forgot that she put that in.
I think she did. I'm starting to think she just forgot these things. It's funny because
the Underking was like, oh, I know her, but not by that name. Like,
she says that her editors have a big book of everything. I actually don't think so. No. No.
But I did like that she proved that the Asteri and the Underking were Valg with the whole black blood thing and the world walking thing. I liked that. I still haven't gotten to the Underking scene in this version, which I'm so excited to read to see if there's any more clues. But again, going back to Cormac, the fact that she put in the strange symbols on Erd's arm, we're bringing back the strange symbols on people's arms.
I don't think so. I think we're reading too much into it. No way. Look at she can't even remember.
And Hypaxia was there, a necromancer. And now she's the Under Queen.
No.
Be real.
Okay, but it's weird.
Freshly dead. And actually, I want to point out, I didn't save the quote, but Pollux says, and this was a huge quote to me that I meant to bring up to you earlier. Pollux is taunting Rune about Cormac because like nobody knows how he dies except Therian, which he hasn't told really anybody how he died. Weird. But he says, oh, like King Morven already disowned that traitor or whatever's left of his body. What do you mean? What do you mean? Paul? What do you mean whatever's left of his body? What do you mean?
But like, then what are they waiting for? Where was he? We're not going to see him in Crescent City 4.
You don't know that. Hypaxia is under queen now.
You can't tell me SJM's writing this book. She made it very obvious. It's like years.
If he is dead and if there are body parts, he can still be revived. Cauldron! Bring the cauldron!
I personally, I do love Cormac. Can we talk about too that House of Many Waters isn't going to be for like years down the road? I'm actually like kind of sad about that.
I mean, I feel like we've been waiting for ACOTAR so long at this point, it would just make more sense for her to finish Crescent City.
Yeah, that's how.
Because there's only one more book.
Yeah,
well, technically, unless she does like a little bit of a crossover in ACOTAR books, which would be fine. Because they can still use the portals, but yeah.
Yeah. You know what's so funny? Oh, go ahead.
It's okay. Go ahead. I have some quotes about Cormac, so go ahead.
I just had this weird like thought today, right? Of like, she's like, oh, I might open the portals again.
The gates to other worlds.
Yeah. Which I think is a Tog reference, right? Like, I have a feeling that that's where we're going with this.
Again, I don't get how she can spin that when she already made Lydia a descendant.
That's right. And I'm like, and so in my mind, I'm like, does Bryce and Hunt, are we talking like years down the road where they have a child and then like Bryce and Hunt's kid and then Nick's meet and they're going to be like mates or something? I don't know. I'm just like theorizing and I'm going crazy.
I was thinking more along the line of like, I don't know, like time travel, because she did the world walking and there's like so many like time itself is one of the realms and time itself is one of the strings on the harp, and she stopped time and he stopped time, and it's like, what was with the time stuff?
Well, and when she was killing Vesperus too, right? It was like Nesta's arm was like slowing down.
Time was slowing. Yes.
That was kind of cool. I was like, that's kind of a cool scene when I read it again. I was like, that's kind of cool. Because
the Asteri are technically like, they're directly connected to the Trove.
Yeah.
They made it, right?
Yeah.
So, but like even the fact that they live so long and they can jump worlds and everything, it's like, they've probably time traveled.
They had to have time. Well, but when you think about it though, maybe they haven't, because don't you think they would manipulate things even more so that in the future no one fights them or figures out who they are? I don't know.
You would think, but.
And I want to say too, I thought it was really kind of a cool thing that we see that Vesperus raised Thea, which was super smart on their part if you think about it.
I know, which I told you reminded me of Amarantha wanting little Tamlin. I read that and that's where my head went. I couldn't help it.
Yeah. So it's
because she was so connected to Tamlin's dad. And I don't think it had anything to do with Tamlin's dad. I think she wanted Tamlin.
Yeah.
I think Hybern wanted Tamlin.
Yeah. I think so too. What he wanted him for, I still don't know.
Sarah, we need our Tamlin book.
I know.
This man has got so many secrets. Oh, and I'm gonna bring this up again before I go back to Cormac. That quote that I showed you earlier. I was like, Azriel, how dare you? How dare you? How dare you drop that shit and then forget about it?
You know, I mean, she might make, if Reese's sister is alive, she might make Azriel.
I was concerned about that. No, not even her mate. I was thinking like, everyone's like, oh, Tamlin was there. Tamlin got her out, whatever. What if Azriel got her out?
I was just thinking.
What if she like knows that Tamlin didn't kill them? Like, what if him and Tamlin?
What if Az and Tamlin?
Like, what if not that they worked together, but like, what if Tamlin tipped him off at some point? Az is the spy master, isn't he? He would have still been working for Rhys's dad at the time.
Yeah.
So, like, who else would Tamlin have been able to tell about his father having a assassination attempt on Rhys's family? If Rhys was so busy with High Lord training and all of this stuff that he couldn't even be bothered to meet them there. Because I always said it was suspicious that, like, what happened with Cass and Az? Where were Cass and Az?
But why wouldn't Azriel tell Feysand? That doesn't make sense.
Why didn't he tell him about this?
He did. I thought that, like, I think it's just assumed that he knows.
No. So this quote is from CC3, obviously. And they're going through Hewn City, whatever, to get to the prison. And Bryce says, "What is the prison?" Nesta's lips pursed for a heartbeat before she said, "A misty island off the coast of our land." So, like Avalon, obviously, they're the same thing. She glanced at Azriel and mused, Do you think we somehow walked beneath the ocean?" Azriel slowly shook his head, his dark hair shining in the phthalites bobbing overhead. "There's no way we walked that far. The door must have been a portal of some sort, moving us from the mainland out here." Nesta's brows lifted. But how is that possible? "There are caves and doors throughout the land," Azriel said, "that open into distant places. Maybe that was one of them."
He knows. I know. His shadows are telling him all this stuff. I know.
Rhys doesn't know.
I think he does,
He
though.
doesn't.
Because
If Rhys knew, they wouldn't have to make that awful trek up to the prison every time they go there. It was like a hike. It was like a hike.
How do you know that? What makes you think that? Like, what if there
Like
is
all
no
of the
portal?
times that they went to the prison in Akamath and Akawar, like they had to go up the rocky side of the mountain and the whole.
I know, but what if there's no portal to the prison?
But there is. They took it. They just took it.
Oh, that's the same. That's the same
That's
one.
the portal to the prison. Because when Nesta's like, "Does Rhys know about these tunnels?" Azriel's like, "No, none of us did." You little fucking sneak. Yes, you did. Yes, you did, Azriel. And then all of his guesses about the worm are suspicious. Right?
I can't tell how much is like what makes you think that was suspicious about the worm?
Well, Azriel is just like, "Oh, it's definitely scenting you," or whatever. Like whatever he said, it like made me think like he knew more about it than he was just guessing. And then of course it was right because it was springing up from all the pits trying to get them.
Yeah. I don't know.
Azriel knows where the portals are. Out of everybody, we thought it was going to be Tamlin. Thought it was going to be more. Fucking Azriel knows where all the portals are.
But does he, though? Does he?
Why would he say there are caves and doors throughout this land that open to distant places? Maybe that was one of them.
But that's what's so weird is that, like, you mean to tell me he didn't tell that to Rhys?
That's what I'm saying. He's done with Rhys's shit. I feel like he's been done with Rhys's shit for a long time.
It just doesn't make any sense. None of it makes any sense.
I don't know. Under the Mountain was one of them. Obviously.
Yeah.
Which was another thing I wanted to bring up. Because it wasn't. I forgot whether it was in the hologram or what the actual context was, but there's a character that literally waves her hand and like shit comes crumbling down or whatever. And I'm like, that's what Tamlin did to Under the Mountain.
Tamlin did do that to Under the Mountain. Tamlin did do that.
There's a lot of connections that I've been seeing to Tamlin recently.
Really?
And I'm concerned in this book, and I meant to screenshot them, but I was like so into the book that I forgot. But I'll have to go back. There's like little references like that where it's like, oh, they with a wave of her hand, she destroyed whatever it was. So I was like,
wait, so you were about to say that you were concerned what? What are you concerned about? That Tamlin could be a Steri?
not a stary, no, but the fact that his dad was bringing him to Highburn all those years, I don't know. I don't know. Is that why he's so volatile? Like, I don't know, like, what did they do to him during those meetings? We don't know. He doesn't talk about anything. He's clearly super traumatized still. But literally, like, Under the Mountain, wave of his hand, fucking crumbles to the ground.
Yeah.
Like,
So sus.
but
Oh my
then
gosh,
Fair's like, but I've never seen that wind power before. I guess you have, bitch. Yes, you have.
now
What are you
you have me
talking
thinking
about?
about all these things.
I found the quote. It was
Wait,
Celine. It was Celine, by the way, in the hologram. I thought
yeah.
it says, so she's talking about when she came back to Prithian after the whole Thea thing happened or whatever. It says, Celine walking away from the harp and through the empty, beautiful halls of a palace carved into the mountain, this mountain. Our home had been left empty since we'd vanished, as if the other Fae thought it cursed, so I made it truly cursed and damned it all. She wandered through the rooms that must have once have been familiar to her, pausing as if lost in memory, then waved a hand. The entire hallways walled off with natural rock. Another wave of her hand, and the ornate throne rooms were swallowed by the mountain until only the lowermost passages, the dungeons, and this chamber far beneath remained. What? What?
You know what's so funny?
I
is
have been
literally
saying that Tamlin had some Starborn shit.
So what was that? I know this is crazy and people are like, the smells have nothing to do with it. But we have Bryce, Feyre, and Tamlin all had a similar smell that now I'm wondering if it's Dust Court descent. Could that be the case?
It could be.
Like, does Tamlin and the Archeron sisters, are they all from the Dust Court or have an ancestor?
I mean, Cormac didn't say that all of them mingled for nothing.
Like, was Tamlin's mom's line from the Dust Court?
And then,
Weird.
she's like, oh, despite my efforts to hide this place, I had to, put monsters in here to conceal it. So it was actually, I think, Celine that put Amryn in there. Or maybe Thea did before Celine put in more.
Yeah.
Whichever. But it says, beneath another mountain far to the south, under the mountain, I found a being of blood and rage and nightmares, once a pet of the Asteri. It had long been in hiding, feeding off the unwitting. With the dagger and my power, I laid a trap for it, and when it came sniffing, I dragged it back here, locked it in one of the cells, and warded off the door. The worm?
Who is that? Was it the worm?
Of blood and rage and nightmares.
And nightmares.
The other mountain far to the south is under the mountain.
It is. It is.
Right after she's walling stuff off with a wave of her hand. You cannot tell me. You cannot tell me. Everyone's gonna go, you're crazy, you're just a Tamlin fan. But like, am I that crazy? She did the same shit that he did.
Has Reese done that before? I'm trying to think. Is that just like a high Fae power where you just wave your hand and like things crumble though?
Reese didn't do it. No.
I'm trying to think if I've ever heard
Az had to crumble the inside of the cave to manipulate Bryce, but he had to do that with his shadows.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also, I found the thing about Bryce needing to combine her light with shadow interesting.
Oh no. The Bryce reels are gonna freak out.
Oh, not in terms of Bryce reel. I meant like the prism. The prism had to put some darkness inside of her light to make it more potent, like dusk, literally.
Dusk.
So I'm thinking, and again, people are gonna hate me, but like Tamlin did blast back Amarantha the same way that Bryce blasted back Radulus, and I cannot stop thinking of that ever.
I know. I think about that scene under the
I think about that all the time. I think about that every day.
I think about that a lot, actually. I just want to read it real quick. Can we
read it? Read it.
Can we revisit
and then
that?
People were trying to get into technicalities where they were like, well, I think Bryce's light was white and Tamlin's light was gold. So they're
so they were talking about this already?
No, when I brought it up to someone on like Facebook, they were like all pissed at me. But I'm like, yeah, but Bryce's is like she already had, it's hard to explain. Like it was directly in her line, I guess. And I don't know if his was like, again, I don't know if the Asteri like injected him with shit. You never know.
Tamlin?
Yeah. He could be like a maid Starborn.
Ooh, I have it right here.
I love it. I love it. It's one of my favorite scenes.
Oh, chapter 45, because we talk about it all the time. Okay. You want me to read it?
Read it.
Like all of it?
Yeah, like read the part where like she's, thrashing and being weird.
Yeah. I like it. And also, could we just talk about like this book is still my favorite. I don't know why. I'm so nostalgic about it.
Yeah, and then I had someone else go, well, that was his shape-shifting powers. No, the fuck it was not.
I don't think that's a shapeshifter thing.
No, his shapeshifter thing was just like his fucking claw and like ripping out her throat. Like that was after.
Yeah. Oh, I love this part. Tears shone in Lucian's remaining eyes. He raised his hands and removed the fox mask. The brutally scarred face beneath was still handsome, his features sharp and elegant. But my host was looking at Tamlin now, who slowly faced my dead body. I love this book. I just can't get over it. Tamlin's still masked face twisted into something truly lupine as he raised his eyes to the queen and snarled. Fangs lengthened. Amarantha. What?
Val Queen. Val Queen. I love when people fight with me about that because it does not say the color of her blood.
It doesn't, but it is weird that they call her a queen when she was just Hybern's general, right?
She made herself queen of the Fae.
Queen.
Just like Maeve did.
She's a queen.
She's a queen.
Amarantha backed away from my corpse. She only whispered, please, before golden light exploded. The queen was blasted back, thrown against the far wall, and Tamlin let out a roar that shook the mountain as he launched himself at her. He shifted into his beast form faster than I could see.
See, that was after. He shifted after.
Yeah, after the golden light. Golden light exploded. Yeah. Fur and claws and pound upon pound of lethal muscle. She had no sooner hit the wall than he gripped her by the neck, and the stones cracked as he shoved her against it with a clawed paw. I love that. She thrashed, but could do nothing against the brutal onslaught of Tamlin's beast. Blood ran down his furred arm from where she scratched, and it's purposely not talked about. The Adder and the guards rushed for the queen, but several fairies in high fae, their masks clattering to the ground, jumped onto their path, tackling them. Amarantha
Spring court supremacy!
No, I know. kicking at Tamlin, lashing at him with her dark magic. Dark magic. But a wall of gold encompassed his fur like a second skin. A wall of gold. I didn't notice that before. Okay, we gotta read that again. Amaranth screeched, kicking at Tamlin, lashing at him with her dark magic, but a wall of gold.
You didn't remember that? No. Yeah, like wards over himself. It was awesome.
Encompassed his fur like a second skin. She couldn't touch him. Tam! Lucian cried over the chaos, and his sword hurtled through the air, shooting star of steel. Tamlin caught it in a massive paw, and Amaranth's scream was cut short as he drove the sword through her head and into the stone beneath. Golden light. How is
now? Wait! Keep going to the part where he destroys the mountain.
Yes, I love that. Okay, let me find it.
It's like at the like right before they leave, like at the very
right before they leave.
Yeah.
Let's see.
They're like leaving, and he like looks back and like waves his hand, and the whole thing comes fucking crumbling down. And like nobody mentions that ever. And I'm like, he fucking crumbled the whole mountain with air. And y'all are like, ew, Tamlin. Like, what the fuck?
Oh my god, I have to do a reread again because I love this book. Tamlin and I left the way I'd come in, through the narrow cave in the belly of the mountain. Before departing, the high fae of several... You see it?
Go ahead.
Before departing, the high fae of several courts destroyed and then sealed Amaranth's court under the mountain. They destroyed it and sealed it. We were the last to leave, and with a wave of Tamlin's arm, the entrance of the court crumbled behind us.
It's the same thing. Walled off entire hallways, walled off entire under the mountain, had it crumbling.
Oh, I still love this book. I still love this first book, and no one ever says they love it.
I know. Like, you're gonna tell me that that's not the same as Celine and Bryce.
It has to be. It has
and
to be.
And the fact that I've been saying this whole time, and the fucking fact that he tells Farah, I have to wear my glamour 24/7 to look normal. Or else he's all light all the time.
Like, I wonder what that means. Like, yeah, like he's all light.
Like, even in front of other high fae, other high lords.
It's weird, isn't it? And he's Reese describes him as the Golden Prince.
The Golden Prince. Starborn Prince, maybe?
Yeah.
I always, like, come on.
I don't know. But I also really want him to be an Ash River. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I could see that because, I mean, obviously he has Aelin's ring, like we've said, and he has the wind power of Rowan. But why the light? Again, Hybern had to have been an Asteri, which means Amarantha had to be some sort of Asteri, lower level Asteri. What was their dad? What was his dad bringing him to them for? I want to know. This is why I want a Tamlin book. I want the whole horrible, sordid story that I can sob over. Like, I just want to know what this poor guy has fucking gone through and literally has told nobody about.
Well, that's what, like,
to me, Lucian barely knows. He barely knows. He, like, told the story and he was like, well, you know, it was weird because his father brought him on meetings as a kid. But, like, it's always weird because why wouldn't you bring your eldest?
It's super weird. Did the dad know from, like, the beginning that Tamlin was going to be? It sounds like it. He was going to be the High Lord.
And then he was like, it was becoming harder and harder to hide what I was.
Yeah.
And my brothers would have blah, blah, blah. So I joined the war band. Like,
Also, I found it really interesting that do you remember when they were saying how, like, initially, Tamlin was saying initially the people of the Spring Court were really angry that they had a beast as their new High Lord? So does that mean that the father was not a beast? Like, he was not a shifter?
I always thought he was, because I thought that maybe it wasn't alluding to the beast thing, but like we know that he like didn't want to be anything like his dad. I always figured that was part of the beast thing, but maybe it wasn't.
I mean, do you remember him saying that though?
I
Like, they were
do.
not happy to have a beast as their High Lord. And it's like, didn't you guys already have one? But maybe not. I don't know.
I don't know. It's just it's so weird. Like, between Tamlin and Azriel, like, what is going on?
You know, what I'm concerned about is we'll never get these answers. I don't think we will. I don't think we're gonna get another Tamlin book, and that breaks my heart.
No, I think we will. I think we will.
I like your optimism.
I think we will. Who wanted a fucking Kale book except me? And like,
I actually
two other
I kind of like
people.
Kale.
I know.
He's
Like,
a little bit of a stick in the
everyone
mud, but
fucking hated him. They did not want a Kale book. There are
But,
some hardcore Tog people that still refuse to read it.
are you serious?
Yeah.
How can
No,
you
I never
refuse?
read it because he's so annoying. I just read Spark Notes or whatever, and I'm like, really?
You guys, that's like how could you not read that book? That blows my mind.
I know. So I'm like, there's no, like, in my mind, there is no fucking way that she loves Happy Ever Afters and Tamlin's journey isn't over and she wrote a Kale book, that she's not writing a Tamlin book. I don't care if it's a 100-page novella. I just need to know what the fuck this man has gone through.
I just want to know. I want to know, like, his POV of what happened with Feyre, especially when they initially got back from Under the Mountain and he was like gone for weeks at a time.
Super fucking traumatized. Hybern was automatically sending shit to his border. Like, he didn't get a day to sit with it.
No,
he didn't get any time to grieve.
He didn't get a time to grieve. He didn't get a day to sit with it. I just felt so bad for him. And then he had Feyre on top of it, and he's like trying to deal with his
like
court.
on his ass. It's like, calm the fuck down.
She was, though. Like, she was not letting up on him and like understanding and like.
And well, he didn't wake up when she was puking. Okay, yeah. They mutually agreed that they wouldn't. She didn't do anything when he turned into his beast from nightmares.
I know.
Like, but it was a mutual fucking thing. They were both like terrible at communicating.
Yep.
Like, it wasn't just him. Like, he tried. He tried to give her paints. He tried to encourage her. He tried. He didn't even try. Feyre's the only one who tried to talk to him. No. She tried to talk to him literally in like the worst possible moments. Like, he's dealing with court shit. You begged him not to be involved in court shit.
Yeah.
So he's sticking to your wishes and you're still pissed.
Yes.
What the fuck?
It was. I love it. I love it.
And we're going to do that Tamlin debunked thing, but just, you know, it gets me so mad.
No, I completely agree with you. And she gave him no time. It still breaks my heart because she gave him no time and he just like begged her. He's like, please. He
like Lucian's like, give him time. Please give us time as a court.
Like, let him heal. And I know he would have came back and done everything she wanted. I know it.
Yeah. And let's be real. There's no fucking way that Feyre would have been able to fight those hordes that day. Like, common fucking sense.
But no, she absolutely wouldn't have. And you want to know what? Like, I was just like thinking, like,
they were there to kidnap her.
Yeah.
You think after what she did under the mountain, you think Hybern's dumb enough to be like, oh, she's not going to want to fight these hordes? He knows. Yeah. It was literally a fucking trap.
Yeah.
And Tamlin knew it was a trap to catch her. That's why he's like, you can't go. I totally understand the shield, and people fucking hate me for it, and I don't give a shit.
No, I understand it. I understand it because it wasn't supposed to be for days and days. I think it was like
a couple hours.
Yeah. Right? Like, that was my
And it's not like she even told him that she had like claustrophobia or anything like, she didn't tell him about where she was under the mountain.
Yeah.
oh, well,
makes me
he should have known that she had trauma from being in a cell under the mountain. He didn't get to fucking see her under the
No,
mountain.
he didn't.
Like,
He didn't.
And she didn't tell him.
No. It was weird, their lack of communication, the miscommunication between the two of them, had they just talked about it.
Oh, well, we can't let Amarantha win. Well, guess what? She fucking won. Amarantha was right about your fucking heart.
Yeah. I know. I saw your.
They were so...
I have to tell you about that later. My friend sent it to me. My other friend, she was like, "Look at this, what this girl posted it," and I was like, "I know that girl. She's my friend." She was like, "People are so angry about it," and I was like,
so mad.
I know,
so mad. They were so mad.
But
it's right.
Group, yeah.
Huh? But it's true.
Well, it is true. Feyre did change her mind.
She had to decide to leave an abuser, and I'm like, for a worse abuser?
Yeah. Well, like, I just want
they won't see it. They won't see it. And even this fucking bonus chapter, they won't
I was just
see
gonna
it.
say,
it's so annoying.
Are people still like coming to his defense and everything?
Yeah.
And
well, you shouldn't read the books if you don't like race. Excuse me.
No, so excuse me, you can read the books and not like one character when you like every single one.
Someone was like, it's fucking odd that you call yourself an ACOTAR fan when you don't even like Feyre and Rhys. Why even read it? Just don't read it.
Excuse me? That's awful that they would say that to you. That's
people
disgusting.
Are like so fucked up. I don't get it.
People are so messed up. I can't believe like it just, and you know what's so funny is these books just like illuminate that. It's so gross to like say that. You can read whatever the hell you want.
I know.
You can think whatever the hell you want.
It's so weird. Going back to Azriel though, because we literally went off on a Tamlin.
Wait, I didn't realize we were doing an Azriel episode tonight.
No, we're not. Okay. I just had this little thing, and then I'm going back to Cormac, like I was originally going to talk about.
Okay.
So apparently we're supposed to guess which planet Prithian is.
Right? Oh, really?
So it says, I didn't remember this from the translated version because maybe the words were all messed up.
Yeah.
It says, Bryce surveyed the carvings on the floor, whorls and faces, and the hair on her arms rose. These are Midgard's constellations. Bryce pointed to a cluster. That's the Great Ladle, and that's Orion, the hunter. Hunt. Her companions, the tunnels, the world faded away as she traced the stars plotting their path. The Archesian amulet warmed against her skin as if working to clear the wards around her. That's weird. That's the secret that Jessica was keeping from Apollyon, but we don't really know that much. The archer, she breathed, the scorpion and the fish. This is a map of my cosmos. Her boot knocked against a raised half orb, a screaming face carved into it. Sif. The outermost planet. She went to the next, a similar mound with a grave male face. Orestes, Azriel asked sharply, drawing her attention back to where he and Nesta still stood at the tunnel archway. The warrior? She blinked. What? Yes. Interesting, Nesta said, head angling. Perhaps the name came from the same source. What source? Wait, how do you know that name?
We have never heard Orestes in the series.
I searched it on my Kindle too. Nothing. Azriel.
But Nesta had heard that name too, Melanie. Wait, so is Prithian in Orestes?
Bryce indicated the next mound, the face of a bearded old man, Odin. The next, closer to the center of the room, was a young laughing male, Lakos. Another mound rose on the other side of the star, massive and helmeted, Thur. And then she pointed to a mound with a female head, Farya. And beyond Farya, a large raised mound with a snaking tendrils, Sol, indicating the sun-shaped thing. They scanned the room again and turned to the 8-pointed star directly between Lakos and Thur, Midgard. The name seemed to echo in the chamber.
What? How many planets is that? Are those 8 planets?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
Oh,
10,
okay.
11.
Okay. I was
11.
gonna say, is that
Oh yeah, 11, because remember the Autumn King had the 11 on his orrery.
oh my gosh.
Huh. But I was like, what? Orestes
I
asked
know.
sharply. The warrior. Interesting. Perhaps the
Worse.
name came from the same source. What?
Well, it doesn't even make any sense.
What? Someone went to an awful lot of trouble to make this floor. Someone who'd been to my world and then came back here. It was Celine, obviously.
Celine.
Bryce glanced over a shoulder to Nesta, the warrior's face unreadable. You said that there was a harp on the 8-pointed star, blah, 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 blah. And then they like moved on to the harp and how it stops time. And then they like, I don't know. The harp was like in the middle of all the planets. That's like where
Dude,
it was
so
when
crazy.
that's where it was when Nesta found it.
I'm just like, okay, I want to go back to that scene though. Do you remember too when Nesta was being pulled into the floor and into the stone? Was that Vesperus pulling her in?
That was the harp. That's where she found the harp. And there's yeah, somewhere along the line this was all forgotten. Yeah, we know because Reese doesn't know, but you seem to know a whole lot, Az. A whole lot.
You know what? Could it be like Az's mom is a seer and so she like saw all of this history and like taught him that? Maybe?
Okay, the bonus chapter when it was like, my mom is anything but awful. I loved that so much.
I know, it was really sweet. It's so sad. He like loves his mom so much.
It was so cute. It was so cute. Okay, it's before the whole Vesperus shit. Oh, here it is. The lowest spike of the star extended down right in front of Bryce, so she laid a hand on the metal and pushed. It didn't budge. Nesta then stalked to Bryce's side, tapping a hand on the metal. A dull thud reverberated against the cave walls. Do you really think it would move? Bryce grimaced. It was worth a shot. Nesta opened her mouth to say something, to make fun of her probably, but was silenced by the groaning of metal. She staggered back a step. Azriel threw an arm in front of her, blue light wreathing around his scarred hand, leaving Bryce alone before the door. But she couldn't have moved if she wanted to, couldn't take her eyes away from the shifting wall. The spikes of the star began to expand and contract as if it were breathing. Metal clicked behind it like gears shifting, locks opening, and in the lowest spike of the star, a triangle of a door slid open. That was after Nesta touched it.
Wait, can you read that? Can you read that again? Because it sounds like Bryce. It doesn't sound like Nesta. You know, like it reacted to. Try it again.
It says
read it again.
The lowest spike of the star extended down right in front of Bryce, so she laid a hand on the metal and pushed. It didn't budge. Nesta stalked to Bryce's side, tapping a hand on the metal. A dull thud reverberated against the cave walls. And then it opened.
And then it opened. You're right. Holy Moses. Nesta. Why would Nesta?
And then it says, and then when they go in and Azriel realizes it's like, or they realize it's the prison, Nesta says, "This is the place I last saw the star in your chest." She drew ataraxia and the blade gleamed in the dimness. We call it the prison. And that's when Azriel was like, must have been a portal. All willy-nilly. Like, nobody else knows this,
Azriel.
And then the whole planet thing that I just said.
The planet thing is really intriguing
to me. The Orestes thing? That was like, what is this?
Is this Twilight of the Gods, the planets? Is that what we're going to be going into here in the Orestes?
The warrior? Because Like, wouldn't it have been like an alias or something
I
like
know.
that, right?
Who is Orestes? And they both knew it. Now I'm so upset because we'll never know. We're not gonna know. We won't know for years. She'll never tell us.
Oh my god. The carvings tell a story. It was left for someone like me. No, I think it was left for someone like you to show Nesta.
Yeah.
You were supposed to show Nesta. Also, Thea had gold hair.
I was really surprised by that.
They both had blonde hair.
Theon?
They both had blonde hair. Only the daughters had black hair, which again, weird, but okay. Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
What?
Okay. And then the fucking Vesperus thing, which was weird. Oh my god. My mother served at that monster's side for a century, a slave to her every sick whim. And then, like, I raised her. I don't get that. So
No,
she
I
didn't
was.
have parents, or they gave
I
her to
know.
the Asteri?
I know. It's really interesting. She must have been like the Dust Court Fae heir, but it makes sense because if you're an Asteri and you like adopt a child, right, that keeps the other Fae in line.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like brilliant when you
It
think
makes
about
sense.
it.
Yeah.
It makes total sense.
Also, did you get the mirror of how when um Celine is talking about Thea and Adis and she says like, "Oh, their love spanned across the world and whatever," and I found out that they were mates. And then
Are you-
Bryce comes back and she says the same thing to Hunt.
I did not catch, like, I didn't put the two of them together.
It was the same thing, and yeah. I was like, "Oh,
They're
that was
so
kind of cute
sweet.
though." Like Thea was a piece of shit, but that was kind of cute.
Thea was awful. Thea was a piece of
She
shit.
did try to fix her mistakes,
It
even though
was
it was
too.
way too late.
It was
She tried.
way too late.
She
She's
tried.
awful. Thea was awful. And it's weird because she was like awful to Fion too. Like she was like, she loved him initially. They had the uprising.
Yeah.
They were married for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
And then like she turned on him. It was
Mhm.
bizarre.
Yeah.
She's awful.
Also, do you think that Azriel is pretending that he's never seen this hologram before? Because where else would he have found truth teller other than one of these caverns?
I think he probably has never
This
seen.
is where Thea hid it. Thea hid it.
It said that Thea hid truth teller in that cavern.
Celine had truth teller. And she like hid everything.
I think he had never seen the hologram before.
Maybe
But
his mom's just telling him shit.
either
Go
his
get that
mom
knife.
or he's exploring the caverns on his own and he found it. I don't know.
But he said, like, no, I've never seen these tunnels before. There's no fucking way, dude. Because you have truth teller. You liar.
Or did Reese give him truth teller?
I don't think so.
That's pretty
Well,
plausible.
because he basically said that Reese had no idea about the tunnels either.
Yeah, but we don't know about truth teller. Just because he doesn't know about the tunnels doesn't mean.
But truth teller had to have been hidden in the tunnels.
Like, well, what if like one
under
of
the
Reese's,
dust court, under the prison?
But what if one of Reese's ancestors like got truth teller and then they passed it down for generations and then Reese gave it to Azriel?
They know what I am at the prison. They know what I am. What are you, Azriel? He had to know. He had to know he was Dust Court.
There's no way. There's no way.
What else could he mean? We know that he's not half whatever now. So what the fuck could he mean? They know what I am. Aside from a descendant of Thea. I think that he probably thought that he was the descendant and had no idea about Reese and more. They know what I am?
Yeah.
As. And then it says, Bryce could only watch as the vision showed Thea's hand snatching the objects from black pedestals, which the black monolith is like Ramiel.
Yeah.
Spiriting them away from the subterranean mountain holds where they were kept, using cave archways to move swiftly across the lands. He had to have seen this hologram. If his mom
No, he didn't. We can't say that he saw that. Don't say that.
Caves like this one, capable of moving people great distances in a matter of hours or an instant. That's what he just said. Like 3.5 pages ago. And then snow drifted across the image, and then Thea was standing atop a mountain, a black monolith. Her.
Sorry.
Ramiel, Azriel whispered from behind them, from beyond the wards. Thea embraced a handsome, broad-shouldered man amid the swirling snow. My mother and father, Feysand, had kept their love a secret through the years, knowing that the Jaglin would find it amusing to tear them apart if they learned of the affair, but they were able to meet in secret and to plan their uprising. Feysand, Azriel murmured, awe lacing his voice, was your ancestor. Nesta turned from the vision, frowning toward Azriel. You might as well come in, she muttered. Silver flame rippled in a straight line, spearing for Azriel. He didn't flinch away as the streams of smoke filtered up from the floor and made a path through the wards. So, is he pretending he can't get through the wards? Like, how would he know word for word? Like, he said that like word for word. How? How would he know? How would he know? How would he know about the archway portals? How would he have truth teller? What did he mean by they know what I am? Azriel.
I don't know. I'm like I'm afraid to even theorize about it because she just, I don't know.
Like, he had, like, his mom, maybe, told him, like, oh, you're a descendant of this long-lost Fae queen or whatever,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But he probably had no idea he was related to Rhys and Moore. Because he was obsessed with Moore for a while, and that's gross. He's like, fuck.
Well, yeah, like him, Bryce, Rhys, and Moore are all like
and
related.
Rune and Cormac.
And Rune and Cormac.
And Einar and Morven.
Yes.
Maybe Tamlin. Like they're all Lucian.
They are all related.
From Lady Autumn. Yeah. Yeah. And then like when she was like, and some of the redhead fae went with them. Einar.
See the Autumn Court.
Autumn Court. Autumn Court.
Yeah.
So clearly one of the Starborn grandchildren was like, I fucking love redheads. Let's
yes.
And then Einar. And then you have the piece of shit. Einar.
I know the piece. I know. I was rooting for him.
He's so much worse in this version. So much worse. The way he like used her, like he knows that she has like a soft heart, so like he called her Bryce in order to get her to do shit. I hated that.
Are you sure that that's like his intention for why he called her Bryce?
And yeah, Bryce was like, oh, he doesn't care whether he works for or against the Asteri as long as he gets his own world. He's just a piece of shit opportunist. He literally didn't care.
I have to read it in the English version.
And the fact that he killed like what's presumably his first son because he was just like Bryce and refused to do it.
That's awful. Really sad. That is
awful
sad.
Dude. Awful guy. He's your son. I can have others.
Then why didn't he? He had like 70 or 80 years between.
I mean, he did. He had Rune and Bryce. So, but
yeah, but he didn't like Rune. He could have had another kid if he hated Rune. It was really weird.
Yeah, it was just the fact that she like locked him up with Rune's shackles. You know, he kept a key in his desk because of you, because of what you did to him. I was like,
I love Rune.
I'm so glad he got the killing blow. Can I just say?
I know.
so glad that they didn't make Bryce do it for him.
Yes.
I mean, he was
It was
protecting his sister.
It was his kill. That's his kill to own, so.
Again, should have told Lauren,
Yeah,
but
I know.
anyway, back to Cormac because I've wanted to literally do this for weeks now. So going back to CC2. So it says, so this is kind of, I don't know, this is kind of based on the theory that Sophie might be alive too. I don't really think she is, but she might be.
Yeah.
Just stick with me for a second.
Okay.
Did she know that someone was racing to save her? Hunt asked. Cormac shook his head. I have no idea. How did the Mer know to pick her up? She could have signaled them with her light, or maybe they saw Emil's like they did with Bryce's. It lit up the whole sea, taking down those Omegas. It must have signaled them somehow. Cormac covered Sophie with the sheet again. Everything Sophie did was for a reason. You remind me of her in some ways. So, Emil didn't have powers. And Sophie was drowning. So how was she able to still signal them with her light? That's not explained. She could have signaled them with her light, but she was in like shackles.
Yeah.
And also, at the same time, she's carving shit in her arm. No.
But she was a fire, thunderbird, whatever.
Yeah. But you're drowning, you're signaling, and you're carving shit into your arm. There's no way. There's no way. She was human. There's no way. No way. He pressed her stiff hand against his brow. My Sophie. Like, I feel like he's kind of overplaying this. I don't know.
No, I think you're reading into it.
Therian asked carefully, do you know what this means? He rattled off a series of numbers and letters. He lifted his head. No. Therian held up a photo. They're carved on her upper biceps. The coroner thinks she did it while she drowned, with some sort of pin or knife she might have had hidden on her, as if Lydia wouldn't have taken those away. Cormac shot to his feet. I mean, both biceps? Are you a lefty or a righty? Make it make sense. I feel like that's not her body. Like, I just feel like it's a fucking fake body that they drew shit in.
Cormac would have known that though. He would have like realized that.
Who has I don't know. I feel like I don't know. It would have made so much more sense if Lydia had glamour magic.
It would be cool if she did, definitely. But like that's why
because like on both biceps, you're fucking drowning. How are you gonna like both? But you're also in shackles. Like, how does that work? Someone else carved shit into the body. The body. We still never. This is the only scene that we see her body. And then he doubted Cormac would appreciate Sophie being referred to as a corpse. Sendas fell silent. Does your queen have any necromancers in her employ? Therian started. What? No. The only one he knew was hundreds of miles away, and she sure as shit wasn't going to help the River Queen. Why? It's the only reason I can think of to go to such lengths to retrieve a Thunderbird's body, to reanimate it. Cold horror sliced through him. A weapon without a conscience or a soul. Like the harpy. They wanted to do to Sophie what they did to the harpy. But, again, it clearly didn't work.
Yeah.
Crystals were empty.
The crystals were empty. Unless they were used up. I don't know. But the body was underneath.
But they didn't see the body there.
No.
They don't know that it was actually there.
Yeah.
We have no claim on the body, but Prince Cormac, as her lover and member of Ophion, does. You'll have to take it up with him. And then Cormac had opted to remain in the morgue with Sophie, wanting to mourn in private, to say all the prayers to Sithona and Luna that his lover was owed.
Oh, I
That
think
why?
it's so sweet.
Was that why though? Was that why?
I'm gonna take it for face value and be pleasantly surprised later.
Bryce cut in. Sophie was human or passed as one. She'd be ignored by most. She could get away fairly easily as a human. What did Danica need her to do? And then Emil was like, I don't know. Blah, blah, blah. And then Hunt, I still don't understand how you pieced it all together. Not just Sophie lying about Emil's powers, but how you knew the Viper Queen would be able to find him. So she lies.
Bryce, yeah.
Sophie lied about Emil's powers.
Yeah.
Danica had thought this information could change the world, save it somehow. How could she walk away from it now? You're talking about breaking into the most secure place on Midgard, breaking into an enemy's stronghold. If Sophie Reynas did it, I can too. Well, if Bryce Quinlan can come back from the dead. Oh yeah, and then the Ocean Queen. She'd summoned the ship that saved them. Sophie drowned because of you, Rune growled. People died at your hands. There's so much to tell you, Rune, she said softly. Lydia.
Did she ever, so obviously I have not read the English version. Did she ever explain the whole Sophie thing to Rune? Or no? Was that just kind of skipped over in CC3? I feel like it was skipped over.
No, she's just like, oh, she felt remorse for the Ophian agent that she used to know or something. Like,
that was kind of shitty of Lydia. Lydia, like everyone's like, go Lydia, Lydia, you're so awesome. She also is kind of like a scumbag at the same time.
I mean, she was doing it for her kids, but yeah.
That kind of sucked. Like, she's like, oh, Sophie, whatever. Oh. Sucks to be Sophie. Sucks to be shackled.
I mean, I want Cormac with Nesta now, but like if Sophie's not dead and they could live happily ever after, that would be cute too.
Yeah, if they were both alive, that would be really. I refuse to come up with any creative theories because we're.
Did you see my poll? The end results of my poll?
I did not see it. No.
I said, who do you think Nesta's true endgame? So obviously everyone still said Cassian because this was before CC3 came out.
Yeah.
But 38% said Cassian, 25% said Eris, 24% said Cormac, and 13% said Tamlin.
So there are people thinking different ways lately. Thinking about different people. Eris won't take her back. Eris is done with it.
Oh, why? I don't know. Done. I feel like he'd be like, okay.
He's over it.
You know, so many people are convinced it's Eris. So many people are convinced it's Eris. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't feel like Eris is gonna get a love interest. For some reason I just think he's gonna get maybe like a daughter and that's it. You know?
It better be Gwen.
I know.
Don't say.
It better be her.
That's all I'm saying. Oh, and then I screenshotted the Azriel bonus chapter again because it's like my favorite thing ever. Because someone on Tumblr was like, "You're telling me that Sarah's gonna do a fucking forbidden love story with Az and Elaine when she ended the bonus chapter with him thinking of Gwen." See, bonus chapters, Sathya. Bonus chapters, guys. Bonus chapters.
Oh, yeah. So everything is in the bonus chapters.
Everything.
All the really juicy, and it's so funny because it's like they're so short, but there's so much in them. But you have to know which one to get to because like some of them are like the tattoo thing, and it's like whatever, like Danica and Bryce, whatever. But then she'll put in one plot, you know, like one plot driving chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Azriel bonus chapter, the Ember and Randall bonus chapter, and you have to figure out which one it is.
Randall bonus chapter. So I said on the Discord, I like took a screenshot of what I put on Facebook because again, CC3 wasn't out at the time. So I was like, I think Nesta's gonna end up with, maybe Cormac. I don't think she's gonna end up with Cassian. So I said in my description or whatever on the Discord, I said, I think Dusk is going to choose Nesta as its leader. She will gain the star as her High Lady power, which is kind of foreshadowed already, her asking about the star, and obviously. I said, I still think that Cormac is the sleeping shadow that Moore saw on her way to Valahan, and that the power he was blasted with activated his wordmark tattoo, and that he also got thrown into Prythian through a rift. I said, perhaps he's injured, maybe he lost his memory altogether and has been slumming across Prythian, like in the bushes and shit, just sleeping in shadow form. Doesn't know who the fuck he is because he was shot with a Gorsian bullet, technically. I said, Moore says that the shadows don't seem dangerous or unfamiliar. Knowing that they're related through Dusk, they wouldn't feel unfamiliar because they come from the same power and bloodline. I think he's been hiding in his shadows to protect himself because he's either scared or confused. After what she did with Darian and Sathya and how she's purposely drawing Nesta away from Cassian, I was thinking that it would make a good romance plot twist for her to find Cormac. It would also go along with the Oracle thing that I said yesterday. I said Nesta could technically, again, currently be a princess since her mom was super suspicious. We don't know much about her. Even Tamlin mentions her, knowing her. And the bonus chapter mentions the Fey warrior, or the bone carver mentions the Fey warrior that they descend from.
Yeah. Yep.
I said Lanthus also says that she is Queen of Queens. It makes sense that she would take over for Thea and Prythian, as she is the only one who can wield all three of the Dread Trove at once, and she now also has Gwydion and Truth Teller as well. So she's going to be the leader chosen by magic for Dusk, and I don't believe Cassian would ever leave the Night Court or Rhys. I want the Valkyries to come across like an injured Cormac. Like,
that'd be pretty cool.
Like this guy that just has no memory of who he was or where he came from. Just like splotches of kind of what happened to him. And like the Valkyries are like, what the fuck do you mean, like another world, weirdo? And Nesta's like, actually, well,
Actually, funny.
Do you know Bryce Quinlan? And he's like, that name sounds familiar. Like, how fucking cool would that be?
It would be so cool. It would be so cool, but she's not going to do it.
You don't know that. Who in their right mind thought that Darian and Sathya would get married? Who? Who thought that that was ever going to be a thing?
But that's the thing, is you've thought of this whole Cormac and Prythian. So if
But everyone thinks I'm crazy, and I'm the only one who thinks it.
But if you thought it, she's not going to do it.
If you thought it.
If you have thought it, she won't be putting it in the book. Just know that.
Lies.
Mm-hmm. Truth.
Lies. But also, I kind of want to, like, I don't know. It was strange. Because Bryce mentions how he taught her how to teleport or whatever and how, like, useful it is. And then he's not fucking there.
He was suicidal though. I think that's what everyone's like overlooking. Like he was so depressed that he was like, I'm just gonna let myself be killed.
No, because he wouldn't have let Sophie's work go to waste like that. He would have seen it through. I know Therian was thinking that because, he lost his lover, mate, whatever. But Therian's already depressed. Like, Therian was already in that headspace. So, like, obviously he's thinking, he immolated himself. He fucking knew he wasn't gonna, like, because, like, I read, like, CC2, I read that the fucking first time, and I'm like, he just faked his death. Like, my first fucking thought wasn't, he's dead, I'm gonna cry about it. It was, he has a word mark, he faked his death, he's fine.
I almost feel like we're thinking about, like, I don't know. I just no. No, I think he was depressed and I think he was like, Sophie's not alive. I want to be dead too. There's no way. He's not alive. Because also it's like you're telling me he's gonna pop up in a later book to do what? To do what? No. He has no role. He has no role anymore. He has no purpose. There's
Okay, what
nothing
was the
going on.
point of Sigrid?
Sigrid is like the stupidest thing that I have ever read. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't get behind it. It's like one of my big gripes about this book. I don't know why Sarah put it in there. It really it pisses me off because she wasted.
I read this version and I actually feel a little bad for Sigrid. I'm not gonna lie. She was
fucking
bitchy,
sucks.
but to be fair, she went into the fucking tank to save her sister, and Sabine killed her anyway.
So like what should have happened is like Sabine and like Sigrid should have been in the Viper Queen's like fighting ring together, not like Ethan. The whole thing was strange.
Well, again, that's the
Ethan-
fucking Viper Queen just being a piece of shit. Just
I
fucking
know, but
with
it's like
them.
Ethan has enough fucking trauma, so you're gonna throw that kid in there. It just the whole what was the purpose? Like who fucking cares if Stiggy is like running around as like a Reaper, honestly? Like it just pisses me off. I can't even talk about
I
it.
mean,
It's like,
clearly the wolves do because they have no alpha. Ethan's the prime, so he's literally the alpha of alphas, but they still need an alpha to their pack.
she sucks. I'm like so pissed about that part, honestly.
I don't know. She's not that. I kind of get her on the second read. I kind of get her.
I have to go read. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go read. I gotta go read.
But can I also just say, really quick, going back to Sarah's interview, like, I wanted her to mention Lucian.
That's why I'm.
Because I know that, like, Az and Gwen are a big thing. I know that Az and Elaine are a big thing. But I found that her leaving out Lucian was a very interesting choice.
Why do you say that? What are you thinking?
Because I feel like if it was like, I don't know, like she put in the books how he's clearly still haunted by Jasminda, and how Elaine is obviously like confused and still aggrieved about Grayson and all this. So the fact that she just, oh well, Az or whatever. I sent a can't really talk. I sent a voice chat to the group earlier, and I said that I actually don't think that it's going to be Elaine's choice. I think that it's going to come down to Azriel's choice. Because I think that
That's interesting.
his book is first, obviously. I think that
Well, Reese does say Azriel's gonna have to make a choice.
but I think very soon in his book, I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't know the scene or the context, but he's going to feel the bond with Gwen. And he's going to have to still deal with his feelings for Elaine. I don't think it's going to be Elaine's agency, Elaine's right to choose, Elaine's blah, blah, blah. I think Azriel is going to have to choose whether to still go after Elaine, even though she's mated, and Elaine getting mad about that and mad at Reese for telling him not to, because it's her decision and her agency. But Azriel is now going to have his mate too. So it's going to be a whole clusterfuck of shit drama that's going to happen between the two sets of mates and the two people that were super into each other. And I mean, at the end of the day, even if Elaine wants Azriel, if Azriel chooses Gwen, she still can't have him.
Oh, oh my God. I swear to God. He's just...
And then everyone's still like, the necklace. Like, she's gonna see the necklace on Gwen and throw a fit and whatever. But I'm like, she gave it back to him.
I don't think she's gonna care.
They weren't
honestly.
dating. I don't think they're gonna give a fuck. Like, it's really not a big deal. It's a fucking
It's not.
necklace.
It's
And
not
she
like
didn't even wear it.
Maybe she'll get mad. Maybe that's kind of like what spurs her, like, oh, I want to choose, and this is bullshit. And why does Reese have a say in anything? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
honestly,
anyone verbally
such-
slapping the shit out of Reese is good in my book. So I want Elaine to fucking chew his ass out. I've wanted that forever. Elaine slaps him in my fanfic. So
I love it. I love it. I love it.
I want her to chew him the fuck out.
I'll be honest with you. I am so thrown by this last book that, like, it's like I don't even know what's gonna Elriel, Aleutian. I can't even pick. I can't even pick a side. I refuse to be baited by SJM into this, like, Elriel.
Make a decision.
Yeah. But, like, she, like, stirs the pot even more. You know, like, we're all, like, on the edge of our seat.
This fucking interview has Elriel. It's like, it's Elriel, when literally
No,
Gwen was also brought up. Like, no.
But it was, I mean, it's, like, very strongly Elriel coded.
No, it's super fucking vague. And rejected mates, I'm telling you, she's doing that shit for a reason. It's gonna be Nessian.
All right, I'm like, so I can't even. I'm stress eating because she just.
Those are my favorite chips.
Okay,
God
she
damn you.
destroyed my favorite fucking couple, and no matter what, I can't get over it because I feel like I kind of agree with you. I think she's gonna be like, I think she's gonna pull out of left field and be like, Nessa's gonna be alone. Because Nessa didn't want to have babies. She was very hesitant when Azriel was like, babies. And she's like, apprehensive.
I don't know how to be a mother.
Feyre was the perfect mother. Okay. Dude, she's out. They are done. It makes me sick. I can't even.
I'm so glad to hear you say that, though. They are done.
It's
the
just,
the chat thinks I'm verifiably fucking crazy. They're like,
our
there's
chat,
no way. There's no way she's breaking them up. There's no way she's breaking them up. I'm like, did you even fucking read?
It's bad. Yeah, I'm not over it, and I'm very upset.
I could tell in Akasef when everyone was fucking romanticizing that shit. I was like, there's no way. Like, this is not romantic. This is literally, they're already on the rocks.
But then
let's live together. Let's live together and let's plan a mating ceremony. And then, like, this book, still not fucking talking. No mating ceremony. He fucking takes Reese's side again. Doesn't say shit to defend her.
So
done.
What if he's pissed at her because she postponed their mating ceremony? And that's why he, like, didn't stand up for her, and, like, that's why Reese is extra pissed at Nesta because he hears and sees how she's treating Cassie, and Cassian's hurting. That would explain it. That would explain
why would he be
at
pissed for her postponing it? Because he just wanted to get fucking laid? Like, calm down. You're a toxic person. Why would she want to mate you?
Why would he be pissed? He thinks
he never told her he loved her.
Melanie, he thinks he's getting a mate. Of course he's gonna be pissed. Of course he postpones it. Of course he's gonna be pissed. You don't
love me. Why would I have a mating ceremony? Period.
But okay, but you say that, but then you look at what happened with Aelin and Sam. Okay, Aelin loved Sam.
Sam died. That's my point.
No, stop. You're going back and playing games. You know exactly what I'm saying, and I know you know it. Okay, but Selena loved Sam, so
she still didn't tell him, and it was wrong.
Yeah, it was absolutely wrong, and you're correct. But, like, Cassian still loves Nesta. He just didn't say it.
Sam and Selena never slept together. She wasn't ready. He knew that. He was giving her the time and space. Still loved her, still supported her. And then he died.
She wanted it.
Oh. She said, I'm not ready.
But if she could go around and sleep with other dudes, give me a break, Nesta. That pisses me off about Nesta. It's like, come on, bro.
Oh no,
You
I
could
mean
sleep with
Selena. Selena was like, I'm not ready. And then Sam was like, oh, it's okay. Like, take
yeah.
your time. And then we have fucking Cassian.
No way. No way. I understand Cassian's point of view in that respect. Absolutely. So you mean to tell me, Melanie, that you have a mate and you guys are stuck up on the top of a mountain together and you're not gonna like mess around? BS.
Okay,
You're like,
no, I'm saying that yes, they messed around. They messed around, but she said I love you and he didn't. So there you go. Why would there be a mating ceremony if you only want her for sex?
He doesn't only want.
He does. He never said I loved you.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't only want her for sex.
Never said I love you.
So he responded by kissing her. They responded by like kissing. Selena and Sam. Selena
Again,
and
sexual.
Sam did that, and they still loved each other.
Mm-hmm.
Some people. That's how some people express themselves.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
You're, no way.
You knew that was toxic. You said it was. You said it was. You're going back because you have false hope. I'm telling you right now, she's not going to break them up, but he's going to die. That's how they're going to be endgame. I still 100% think he's going to die. Because look what she's doing. She's purposely making it so people don't like him anymore. Or at least like him less. Of course, there's going to be hardcore Cassian fans who literally like Reese. He can do no wrong. And Nesta's the one that should deserve him, which is bullshit, but.
It's honestly just so painful for me. I can't even acknowledge it.
Like, you have to admit, that bonus chapter was very telling.
It was damning. Of course I admit it. Of course I told you I'm still reeling from it, and I read it like 4 days ago. You know, he didn't, but that's why I'm like, maybe it's because Nesta postponed their mating ceremony, and like he's heartbroken and he's sick over it. And Reese is like, "Fuck you, Nesta," and then he yells at her for 2 days.
But then here's the miscommunication trope again, because just tell her you fucking love her instead of being a fucking asshole.
But like, is that going to be enough for Nesta? Is it?
Yeah.
Is
literally
that really
all
what
she
she's
wanted.
waiting for?
It's literally all she wanted.
It never said she just wanted to hear "I love you" from Cassian.
Okay, what else would she be waiting for? What else? What else would she be waiting for? Oh, I don't know. Maybe some encouragement or some fucking backup when she's being berated by his brother, or some, oh, I know he was a shithead to you, but like, how about taking my side? How about telling me you love me? How about you got this, Nesta, instead of why the fuck are you pissing off Reese again? Like, how about being
I don't think that's what the fight was about.
Instead of Reese's fucking lapdog.
I honestly do not think he gives a fuck about Nesta pissing off Reese. I'm sorry, I don't. Everyone's like,
oh, I definitely think Cassian yells at her about that. Because when Ember's like, oh, are you in trouble? And she's like, not more so than usual. It can't just be Reese. Cassian's fucking yelling at her all the time, too.
Yeah.
Like, from the way that he even treated her in Silver Flames. Again, everyone fucking hates you just because he was mad. He's that kind of toxic. He's going to be like, you're a piece of shit every time he's mad at her.
Oh my God. Oh my. All right, Melanie, we're going to
wrap it up right here. That's why Ember was like, she looks so defeated. She looks so depressed. She looks so sad. Ember, who's known her for fucking 3 hours.
Yeah.
Tapped it. Was like, she's not being treated right.
I just don't know why she would do this to Cassian. She takes the best men and she just destroys them. He's going to be Tamlin 2.0.
Well, Reese is already Tamlin 2.0 with his explosion. But people will never admit it.
But like, she's dragging down Reese along with Cassian. And that's what I'm not quite understanding. Like, we don't understand what's going on. I don't know.
And as with all the secrets. The thing that I find funny
All bad.
through this entire series is like Reese is like, this is my inner circle, this is my family, this is my trusted people. And literally none of them know fucking jack shit about anyone. They literally don't trust each other. They all have secrets. None of them know hardly anything about the other. It's fucking weird. At least Tamlin and Lucian were like, I know his backstory. I know his backstory. We're best friends. We're kind of like brothers. Tamlin gets like this sometimes. Lucian gets like this sometimes. Like they joke about Lucian being a rake. They joke about Tamlin liking to be brushed. Like they were actual brothers. And the inner circle thinks that they're the best fucking family and they're the most dysfunctional shit. It's like my family. Like,
well, she's unraveling the inner circle, don't you? You see that, right? It's unraveling very quickly. Morit's gone. Azriel's done with Reese's shit. Cassian's fighting with his mate because of Reese. It doesn't make sense.
Amren, what the fuck, Amren?
Amren came out on top to me. I read Amren and I was like, I like her again. I like Amren. I really hated her in Silver Flames and I like her again.
Yeah, but the fact that she also kept all this shit from Reese. Because she knew. Bryce said Asteri. She's like, Daglin. Because Reese was like, we don't have this stuff in our history. She's like, the Daglin dude.
But she told him immediately. She didn't keep it from him.
No, but
she didn't.
She knew who threw her in the prison. She said nothing. Like Thea or Celine threw her in the prison. She had to know. She has to know that Reese is their descendant. She said nothing this entire time. She lied to him about having to bind herself to a body. He had no idea till Akawar, till Elaine asked her. She was like, yeah, I lied. I had to actually bind myself to this body. Like, this wasn't my body.
Because it was considered rude to ask because in typical Archeron sister fashion, they have absolutely no manners because they're just nasty people. So they just say whatever the hell comes up in their mind. No, everyone else is too polite to ask. So I don't know. I think Amren's like if you ask me, I tell you type of thing. I actually really liked Amren in this book. I think CC3 was kind of
she wasn't that bad in this book. She was a little annoying when she was like, just enter her mind. Just enter her mind. I was like, chill the fuck out. Chill the fuck out.
Amren. That's Amren. That's typical Amren. She's like, just do it. Get everything done.
He's like, no, I need permission. I'm in the Veritas orb. Which, didn't they bring that back to Hewn City? Wasn't that like, didn't they have to put on an act to get that the last time? How was it so easy?
Anymore.
I don't know.
I was so fucking done with that.
All right.
I don't even want to think about it. And I'm so pissed and I'm putting you in a bad mood. I'm sorry.
I'm just like, I wanted Lucian or Tamlin in this book.
Yeah, I know.
Tamlin at the Lucian at the very least, because you know that he's related to Bryce through Einar. Like the redheads, come on, because of Lady Autumn. And Tamlin because of fucking Lydia. And fucking Lydia got pregnant on Callan May. Annoyed. But anyway.
I'm so pissed. I know.
I just wanted all the other courts to be involved. It should have been a true crossover. That's my thing.
Absolutely.